Clobbering time! It's clobbering time! Clobberonimo!
My apologies, my dear friends, for being late. That's on me. I was screwing up big time, but we're here now. Welcome to Saturday Night Star Trek. Clobberonimo! I finally got that timing down. Goodness. Welcome, clobberers and clobberonimos and clobberettes and clobberoids and clobberooskies all across the galaxy. And the secret to everyone else is to bang the rocks together, guys. It's great to see you all tonight, my friends. Welcome to Clobberin Times, issue number 577 on YouTube. Number 1,277 overall the past 14 years. And again, Saturday Night Star Trek 119. Deep Space Nine reviews, our big rap party for season 6. Yes, indeed-ishness. And I've done absolutely no homework on this, so I'll just have to see if I can think of some great episodes and some bad episodes just on the fly. But that's not the case for our other friends who are more like academic about it and have all done all kind of neat homework. And again, I'm so sorry that I'm late. This was just me being annoying. I'm sorry. I'm mad at myself. But we'll see if you could all find your.
He shouldn't be mad at himself, folks. That he was discussing production with me, and Clobby has something new for you, and he has me working on it. And so we've been talking about it all day, but I'm also building a deck. So he didn't want to bother me, but he had a couple of questions. So it was all related to the program and to programming on this marvelous channel that Mike Alonso runs, this glorious Clobberin Times. And I can tell you that he has something very special in the works for you, and I am working on it. So lots of fun. And I think he's a little excited. I was very excited while I was making it. So don't be too hard on him that we're late.
Well, That's okay. I can be mean to myself about it. But anyway, thank you so much, number one. Before we get started on show notes, I want to say hello to Dadman Walking and thank him for the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Y'all awesome. Smarter just being around you too.
Oh,
well,
sweetheart.
Actually, number one here can definitely make you smarter, but then I cancel it out with how dumb I am. So
that's not true. Shin kicks.
It's not only is it true, I can prove it in a court of law because reasons. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. So we'll see. We'll before we start with the show notes, I will, of course, I've already introduced her. She needs no introduction. The most wonderful first officer in the fleet. Nevertheless, I will give the opening words, the floor, to my wonderful Commander R.M. Briggs, first officer. What's going on and how are you? So good to see you.
I love you very much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to wave hello to everyone. Good evening, everyone. Hail to the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. And hail to the wrenches. Thank you for being here to help run this fabulous, amazing, crazy party we have every Saturday night. I would like to reach out and use this time for a special thanks for my Patreon subs. I have patrons who are backing my new science fiction collection, and I am very appreciative of them. I am very humbled by their support, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. So Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, pew, 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 Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie P., Eric K. and Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, Mark, Jillian, and Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth and Lance. Thank you so much for backing my work. I can't do this without you. Corporations aren't interested in classic science fiction, and certainly not episodic classic science fiction. So I love you all more than I can possibly express with words. And that's I think that's it for me, other than saying hello to my captain and one of my best friends in the whole wide world. I love you very much. We are going to have so much fun tonight.
Yes, indeed. Love you. So glad to have you here. So glad to have all of you here tonight. And let's do some quick show notes. And then we will get right down to beeswax. Hang on a second. I'm having some technical issues. Okay, let's see here. First, let's see. Tomorrow night, I don't know if the great Mark D with the C, the chief engineer, will be having the geekery or not. Sunday night geekery, I'm not so sure. I do know that our good buddy Dadman Walking will be having a stream. Please, if you have not, please go subscribe to his channel. If anyone can get that link in his description, link in the chat, I'd appreciate it. I don't have it at my fingertips at the moment. And he has a stream tomorrow night about my all-time favorite movie, The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, no way.
He's doing it like 6 or I think 7 Eastern. I'm not 100% sure, but
wow.
Dadman and the Dadman clan. If I'm able, I will definitely try to stop by there, brother. But anyway, so yes, it's the anniversary of that wonderful film tomorrow.
Amazing.
So there's that. Yep, love it. But I don't know if Mark will have the geekery or not. Probably not. But if he does, I'll be there. Yeah. And then Monday night, I will be a guest on the great 6 p.m. Central. A guest on the great J-Man's channel. My good buddy J-Man, my partner crime Murph B. We're reviewing all of the Legion of Superheroes.
Speaking of folks should follow, please make sure that you follow J-Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the great J. Please, absolutely go subscribe to his channel. And but Mark and Sean and I are reviewing every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes from the beginning of the Silver and Bronze Age only, the only ones that matter.
Cool.
And then Monday night, a very special Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk. The great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic will be joining me. I cannot wait. I'm just looking forward to this so much. Gary's an awesome dude. We all know who Gary is. He's got a great channel, and he's the greatest geek YouTuber ever, as far as I'm concerned. And I really appreciate him. And just a super good guy. He's been good to me. And he has been kind enough to agree to come on. And we will talk comic shop memories and other stuff, I'm sure. But it'll all be geekness. I'm going to geek out with the great Gary Beekler, and I'm really looking forward to it. Gary, just so kind of him to agree to hang out with us.
You guys are going to be great together. It is going to be
so much
such a
fun.
dynamite show. And I dare use the hyperbole of epic. It is going to be awesome. It is going to be epic. You guys are going to have a wonderful time together.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And it's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. Let's see here. Making sure I got. I'm writing everyone down so we can do our shout outs. Now, we will start with our shout outs because why not?
Let's do it.
All righty. First of all, I understand our good buddy Eric K, whom we miss very much and we love very much. The Bronze Wrencher is he's hanging in there and he's doing better slowly but surely. Nothing, obviously still not feeling very well or anything like that, but hopefully doing better. And look, Eric, brother, just in case in the off chance you're hearing this, we at the Clobbering Times love you.
Yes,
buddy, and we hope you are getting better. And it's just like I said, man, just hope to see you soon. But just get better, bro. Just get better.
And if you know Eric on socials and you're connected with him or to one of his handles, don't be afraid to reach out and just send him a little note saying get well soon. And he could use all the love and prayers. I'm agnostic, but if you pray, go ahead and say a prayer for him and just reach out with all that goodness and all that love, because he sure could use it. And we just adore him. And I want to just snuggle him with love right now and just have all of his friends surround him and let him know how important he is to us, and to let him know that we're cheering for him. So, we're thinking of you, Eric, honey. Love you. Mwah.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all you do, too. Speaking of appreciating all you do, the great Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrench of the North. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you.
Especially for the beautiful show poster tonight and for pumping us on the socials. You always do that for us, and you don't have to. I love you, Chris. We both do. We appreciate you so much. Your beautiful show posters and your community outreach. You're the best, honey.
Indeed. And of course, the great D. Bud Martin. Don't know if he's here tonight, but whether they're here or not, the wrenchers get the shout out. D. Bud Martin, the wrench of iron, my brother.
Resident mathematician. No big deal.
Indeed. Also, I don't think he's here. In fact, I know he couldn't make it tonight, but still, we shout out the great Lord Thought, the God of wrenching. And I want to wish he and his wonderful better halves, Lady Thoughts. I believe it's their anniversary of sorts or something like that. And in which case, we wish them happy anniversary. And still, Avon lives, long live the Legion, my brother.
Yeah. You and I should sing like Fred and Barney Rubble. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I hope it really was his anniversary. I was just guessing. I think he said it was. It's been like a week, so my stupid memory, but I'm pretty sure he did say that. So at some point. I think it is, though.
Well, if not, early, right?
It'll work.
It'll work.
Hey, look, it's of course my partner in crime on Earth 3. J-Man, the my fellow Legionnaire reviewer and Bridge Without Fear. Thank you, buddy.
And also an author. Make sure you get your little bums over to Amazon and buy his horror books and just all of his writing, because he does so much to support this community. Like Clobby and I, J-Man has gone out of his way to support this channel and both of us as individuals. A really, really special and wonderful person and a talented person. So please hop on over there and support him as an author. He could use it.
Absolutely. And of course, I don't think he's here yet, but the great Hungry Boy.
HB!
Of course, master of the Club Oni.
Yeah.
And artist extraordinaire.
Yes.
And painter of the cover.
Yeah.
Of Science Fiction Tales by R.M. Briggs. Oops. Where I put his picture. I'm sorry. I got all messed up. Hey, I moved him back. I moved him around. What happened?
That's okay.
Super Wrench Supreme Kal-El. All right, buddy.
Hey, the real soup.
Real soup. Maddie's daddy, Mildred Lynch Mjolnir, and the Fanty Outsidey, the old rascal, and of course the master of the limerick, our own music meister, Maximum Redstone.
Maximum redstone.
Now for some shout outs. Out with us here tonight is, of course, the wonderful Apollome's Minion and
The pepperoni. The pepperoni.
I couldn't think of anything else at the time. Sorry, I panicked. Panicked. Hey, my God. All right, so let's see here. Who else is here with us tonight? Up in Yale.
Cajun Man? You brought Cajun Man? I love it when you bring Cajun Man.
I don't even know who you're talking about. Don't know him. FKHC 2005, my friend. Technical number there.
Evening.
All right. By the way, I think our buddy Mark D with a C is out there on an away mission, but fear not. You know, he may say hi later. So we're without an engineer, folks. So we're gonna have to persevere. Let's see here. JT Kirk.
JT Kirk.
What's up, buddy? The aforementioned Dad Man of the Dad Man clan. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Dave G Sound.
Dave G Sound. Not just another body of water.
Joseph Dredd. What's up, Judge? Here comes the Judge.
Good evening.
Captain James T. Skywalker. Let's Classic Comics. Hey, Classic Comics, CC. Yes, indeed-ishness. The wonderful Princess Fiona. Princess Fiona, so wonderful to see you.
Her Royal Highness is here.
I hope you are doing well.
I love that lady.
It's great to see you. Absolutely. She's awesomeness. The great enigmatic Drop Bear.
Oh, ED. Looking forward to the reviews tonight.
EDB. Zathras.
Crap.
Babylon 5 is better.
And thank you for the very, very sweet message in the chat. I just love you very much, Seth. Thank you. I saw that.
Zath is awesome. I didn't see what he wrote, but he's cool. He's the man. Simply Steve, my friend.
Hey.
long time pal of the show.
Good evening, sweetheart.
We don't get as many ladies as we would like, so when we get them, we really cherish them. The lovely Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Especially Lisa's food. Like Lisa, her food catalog. I mean, come on. It's good stuff. Good evening, sweetheart.
Indeed. Matt G. Hey, Matt G. What's up?
Hey, Matt. How are you, hun?
Bush Pan Down. Hey there.
Ooh, Bush Pan Down.
All right. Snail Messiah. Snail, old buddy. All
the
right.
mighty mollusk.
Yes. Yes, indeed-ishness. Good to see you. Clear time. The Tetrarch of Apathy cares. Hey, good to see you there.
Good evening.
The AI Show. Hello, welcome.
Good evening.
Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Claude Salling. Hey.
Evening, Claude.
My old buddy from the BTR days, Almighty Sports Show. What's up, buddy?
Very cool.
Good evening. See you, man. Good to see you. And they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of the Ramba Beach when he plays the maracas. He goes chick chicka boom, chick chicka boom.
Good evening, Scuba Pete and Leslie. Love you guys.
Leslie, indeed. Rod Thunderheart. What up, babe? Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
King Dolphin TV.
King Dolphin TV.
In color. What's up, Rayman? All right, brother. Anyone else who happens to show up, we will call them out accordingly. We'll shout them out. But for now, we are probably ready to get down to beeswax. We only have 2 episodes tonight, and then we will take a little bit. It'll be a shorter show. Aren't you all thrilled? But we will take a look back at season 6, the highs, okay, and the lows, and the blows, and the stuff and things that happen.
Boss?
It's been a rough week, King Dolphin. I'm sorry, bro. Hope it's not too bad.
Oh,
what?
That's not good. Yes. Boss, I need to remind you that we have to wave hello to everyone who doesn't participate in the live broadcast and doesn't participate in the chat, and also remind people to sub, boss.
I hate when I forget that stuff. That's what I got. That's what we got you for. I know. Anyone out there who happens to be lurking, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I just forget to say it sometimes, and I apologize. You know, if you have lurked for any minute, in length of time, you know how terrible my memory is. See, I can probably forgot how terrible my whatever it was. And so I have horrific memory, but I hate when I forget that because we love you doing that. Mr. Angel, oh my goodness, Chef. Good to see you,
Evening,
my friend.
Chef.
I hope you're doing well, Mr. Chef, Mr. Angel Chef. But so, and also thank you to anyone who's listening on a later on a repeat or a download, whatever you want to call it. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate it. And also, anyone out there listening, please, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, but only if you want to, and clicking like, but only if you want to. No pressure, but I would certainly appreciate it. But whether you do or not, I appreciate you hanging out. So, let's see here. I'm sorry to hear that, Raymond, buddy. Hang in there, my friend.
Not good.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Sending a hug to you and Sandra.
There you go. Absolutely. All right. So, for those who do not know, if you're just catching it for the first time, Saturday Night Star Trek started in January, in the very beginning of the year 2021. Well, the show started before that, but I mean, what we're doing now, our mission now started. Our review mission started then, I should say. I was doing Saturday Night Star Trek before that, but our mission that we're currently undertaking on Saturday Night Star Trek. Hey, Brian Hepburn, good to see you, buddy.
Evening, Brian.
In, like I said, January of 2021, and the mission, of course, I guess it's almost a 5-year mission, isn't it? Pretty much, is to review all of real Star Trek. That is, of course, 1966 to 2005. The only Star Trek that is legitimate. Nothing after 2005. That's all Star Trek in name only. It's drivel. It's filth from hell. Not the real deal. And that, of course, boils down to 735 segments as computed by my wonderful first officer, the greatest first officer in the fleet. She's also a science officer, too. So, and a communications specialist, scholar, and all that stuff. And anyway, so she figures it at 735. We're going to review it all. We reviewed the original series, then the animated series, the original crew films, Star Trek The Next Generation films, and now, tonight, we are finishing up Season 6 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And with the final 2 episodes of that season, and then later we will look back at the season as a whole. We will look at the ups and the downs of it and rate it thusly, and just generally talk about it. What we do is after we finish summarizing an episode, we give our reviews and thoughts on the episode, and then we ask our wonderful chat to give their rating and any words they may have about an episode, and I read them out for you all. So we get a whole range of opinions about the episodes, and we have a lot of fun doing it. Oh, my goodness.
Eric is here.
Oh, man. Eric, brother.
That's okay. You don't have to participate. No one, please, no.
No, I'd say.
Yeah, Eric, I forbid you from answering anyone. Please do not answer anyone in the chat. Anyone, just go ahead and send love to Eric, but please, he cannot respond, so don't expect conversation.
Yeah, just everyone knows. Yeah, everyone understands. Buddy,
I'm so happy you're here.
Just happy to see you, bro. I hope you are doing well. I mean, I know you said you're not feeling all that well, but dude, nothing but love for you, brother. And man, it's just good to see you, pal.
Yep. We were talking about you earlier. There are a whole bunch of well wishes and prayers and hugs and hearts and all sorts of stuff in the earlier chat, Eric. But just rest, please. I just want you to rest.
Rest and feel better, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm so happy that you're here and you get to hear how much we all love you and how much we're all thinking of you.
Absolutely, brother. We got you, man. Just so good to see you. And we will continue. John Shruggy Rupus is here.
Reggie?
And Sean Estep is here. Hello there, Sean.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Lisa says, zip it, Eric, laughing out loud. But great to see you. So she is correct. We all forbid you from responding, but we're all going to be shouting you out in the chat and just sending you just oodles and poodles of love. We adore you, honey. Get well soon.
Unless you want to pick on me about Wesley, you could feel free to do that, brother.
Oh, this is great. I'm so happy.
We're so happy to see you, buddy. We really am. So what we do basically is we number one here, we have a reference source, although she'll go for the summary or the synopsis, she'll just get that off the basic internet. But we do refer everyone to this source. It's called the Star Trek: The Deep Space Nine Companion. But now I will turn the floor over, or give the con over, that is, to my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, and she will inform you the rest of the way. Then we'll get on to the episodes.
Yep.
So take it away, number one.
Well, thank you so much, Captain. And I would like to welcome anti-derivative Jill to the chat.
Hey,
Everybody
Jill.
say hello to
Jill.
Jilly.
There you are, Jill. Jilly.
Yeah, so if you're participating in this on a download, or if you just listen into us like we're a radio program, maybe you listen to us in the car, there's an image of a book called Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion. It's written by Terry J. Erdman and a prolific Star Trek author by the name of Paula M. Block. Paula M. Block is the go-to, in my professional opinion, when it comes to acquiring Star Trek books. Paula uses original source material, so this book is absolutely wonderful. You're not going to see a lot of the dead or empty or incorrect trivia in our chat from IMDb, from Wikipedia, from Memory Alpha, which has now been polluted by the filth, because a lot of it's not true. So if you're looking for production notes, if you're looking for the insider scoop and you want to know more about DS9, you really need to turn to this companion. But unfortunately, this companion it's not conducive to podcasts. So we will be reading extemporaneously. That means, cold read off of Wikipedia. And that's just the launching off point. That's just to bring you up to speed in case you didn't have time to watch the episodes, so you can hang out with us and talk with us. And I would just like to remind everyone here tonight, obviously there are lots of regulars, but for anybody who hasn't been here before, this is an entirely organic show. That means that Clobby and I do not discuss our reviews prior to showing up here. We don't pre-read anything. So I'm just going to be cold reading everything. And then we interact with the chat. And this way it keeps us all honest, and it makes the show more interesting. So we'll read a little bit from the Wikipedia. If it sucks and it's wrong and it's bad, we promise we'll correct it. We'll use that as a launching off point. And then we'll do what the captain wanted out of this show. And that is a room full of Trekkies just hanging out and talking. It's the coolest idea ever. And I love participating in it. You ready to get started, boss?
Absolutely. It's okay, everybody. So up now first episode up tonight. What's up, Fanty?
Hey, Fanty!
Let's see here. Is the sound of her voice. There we go.
Yeah, the sound of her voice. Here we are. Penultimate.
Yep.
That we're almost done, folks.
Sean Carter's here, though.
Sean Carter from Mars. Don't forget to follow Sean Carter. He is an amazing model maker. He does cool things with Star Trek. You should follow him. He started a YouTube. I love that person. Go support him. Okay. The Sound of Her Voice is season 6, episode 25. If that doesn't line up with your streaming services, that's okay, because it's different internationally. So don't panic. It is production code 549 for those who are following along in the companion. We all watched this for the very first time on June 8th, 1998. And without further ado, I'm going to cold read from Wikipedia. And sometimes it's a little rough going because the writing's not good. But saddle up, lock and load. The crew of the Defiant receive a distress call from Captain Lisa Cusack, a Starfleet officer stranded on an alien world by herself after her ship, the Olympia, has been destroyed. After establishing communication with her, they discover that the planet she is stranded on has a high concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which will eventually kill her without regular doses of Triox medication, and her supply of it is running low. Dr. Bashir tells her to cut her dose so that she will survive 6 days that it will take the Defiant to reach the planet. Captain Cusack asks that they keep a constant conversation going with her to keep her alert and make her feel less isolated. As they converse with her, the Defiant crew becomes closer to Captain Cusack.
Oh my
Captain
God.
Sisko confides in her that he is uncomfortable having his girlfriend Cassidy Yates aboard the Defiant. Wow. Cusack advises him against mixing his professional and personal life. Oh, I don't have enough raspberries for this.
Oh my
She
God.
helps Bashir and Chief Engineer Miles O'Brien realize that they have been letting the stress of their work and the ongoing war isolate them from their friends. That deserves another raspberry. When Cusac's supply of triacs runs low, Cisco orders power diverted from the weapons to allow the Defiant to travel at a higher speed. They arrive at the planet shortly after Cusack has fallen unconscious, giving them a limited amount of time to find her. After figuring out how to get their shuttlecraft past the strange energy field that surrounds the planet, the crew finds that Cusack has been dead for roughly 3 years. I mean, come on. O'Brien theorizes that the energy field caused their communications to travel through time. Cisco orders them to collect Cusack's body and give her a proper burial back on Deep Space Nine as a Starfleet officer and trusted friend. Meanwhile, Quark talks Odo into planning a date with Major Kira for their 1-month anniversary. He tells budding writer Jake Sisko, who is writing a story about criminals, that while Odo is occupied, he will sell rare crystals for profit. What else would he sell them for? However, Odo decides to move his romantic evening to the following night, ruining Quark's plan. Taking pity on him, Odo decides to let him off this one time, and he has his evening with Kira when he originally planned. And that is all the collective internet has to say about the crap called The Sound of Her Voice. Boss?
Hey, Grim. Welcome.
Grim!
Oh, man. Oh, man. That is... Oh, I can't breathe. Oh, shit. Oh, God, I love it when you do that to an episode. Oh, Lordy, Lord. Where to begin? I mean, I never really thought there was too much wrong with the episode. I thought it was kind of an okay idea. It was kind of, again, is that what I go to Star Trek for? No, not really. I mean, I didn't mind the concept. I actually kind of liked her. What was it? We don't know the lady's name. I'm sure I don't remember.
Captain Lisa Cusack of the Olympia?
Yeah, but I don't know what the actress's name. But I mean, I liked her, and I liked some of that stuff. Some of the
Deborah Wilson?
That was the actress. Okay,
Deborah Wilson.
I thought some of that stuff with her talking to the crew. I mean, I kind of enjoyed some of that. I mean, because she was a likable character. I'm not sure captains are that personable.
Nope.
But then again, it's not her crew, and she figures she's all alone. She's about to die. So that's one thing. That's all fine and good. You have in a situation with an A and B plot, because it means you really don't have anything else to do with your time. I hate to make a sports ball analogy, but as they often say that if a team with 2 quarterbacks has no quarterback, in a Star Trek episode with 2 stories has no story. Usually, for me, when you have to split it up, you're kind of cheating. But neither one of these stories that they're doing could support a whole episode, so they have no choice. It's just
ding, 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 bingo.
And it just kind of bothers me. It's like, you guys you screw around so much. So there's some of this, I don't know. I don't really, I guess because of some of these really horrible episodes we've seen later, and this one didn't really bother me that much. It didn't make me mad. I mean, I even, some of the stuff with Jake and Quark, at least, is kind of, I like these characters enough. Some of the stuff, but the stuff with Odo and Kira, I can't stand it. I really don't like that. Every time they're together, and it used to be, and there's a shame. I used to really like I liked their relationship when it was their friendship, and now I can't stand it. I don't have much to say about it. The episode happened, and it was filmed, and it was shown on television, and I thought it was a pretty interesting idea. The whole the whole thing with the time accident, that I didn't have a problem with as much. I mean, timey-wimey type stuff as far as. It wasn't like they were going back in time, changing history or anything like that.
No,
it was just an accident through It was the gobbledygook type stuff
with a dead person, and the dead person was responding back,
talking to the future. Yeah, she was talking to the future.
Yes,
but only a few days in the future. So I don't know. I could buy into it. I mean, again, that's an idea, a crazy idea I can handle, and that doesn't bother me. In fact, I think it was a nice enough twist. I'm just not excited about it. I'm just like, so it doesn't bother me. Nevertheless, now I'm glad they did it because your review of it brought me far more pleasure and joy than the episode ever did. When you were just your simple little, you weren't even reviewing it. You were just reading from the synopsis. So I can't wait till you get to your notes. This is going to be better than the episode for sure. Go for it.
All right. We start with romance. Story 1, a 1-month anniversary. Are we in junior high?
Yes.
The Love Boat.
Of course, that was Quark being an a-hole, but yeah.
Yeah. Cassidy Yates is a convicted criminal who freighted goods illegally to terrorists and then went to prison for
Not
it.
anymore.
And now she is filing mission reports for Starfleet Command as a convoy liaison officer. Okay. A distress call can reach through 6 days of outer space at maximum warp? Since when? That's a lot of space. That's a lot of busy space. That distress call is 3 years long. Story number 3 here.
Maddie's daddy's here, by the way.
Maddie's daddy!
He has to run, but he's
in
saying
Vegas.
Hi. Hey, buddy.
So Jake is writing a crime novel. Isn't this fun? So first we have the 1-month anniversary of Adults. Then we have this thing that's happening on the Defiant. And now we have Jake writing a crime novel. So why doesn't the crew of the Defiant look up the Starfleet vessel, the Olympia? Why don't they tell Starfleet with this crash and knowing everyone is dead and there's only one survivor? It seems pertinent to look up the Olympia, find out what kind of a mission she was on, and also contact Starfleet. They don't do that. Then Lisa says, I can't believe we're at war. Upon hearing about it from Cisco, Lisa crashed 2 days ago at the beginning of the call with Cisco. So Cisco should be asking how and why she doesn't know they are at war, even asking if people are still falling in love and still making families. She crashed 2 days ago. So herein, the writers make Cisco look like a complete nincompoop. They make him look like an idiot. How would she not know that? Okay?
Was she sent on a long mission way out into the Beta Quadrant, but she wasn't getting there. I think she would know about that, right?
But they would still be in contact with Starfleet, right?
Yes,
so storyline 4. This is the 4th storyline here.
4.
Everyone is depressed because of the war. Cisco is turned into a big meanie. O'Brien is alone because, well, oh, Miles. Julian is exhausted and not chatty. And Cisco's love life is suffering. Boo-hoo. Okay, so 4 storylines. The Defiant still hasn't looked up or reported the Olympia crash and casualties to Starfleet 3 days into going to retrieve the Olympia. Okay, and remember, everyone on the Olympia is dead, according to the captain, Lisa Cusack. She's the only sole survivor, and they still don't contact Starfleet. But a distress beacon can reach across 6 days at maximum warp in space. Now, I'm not a physicist, but I'm going to go ahead and say that if you're at maximum warp for 6 days, that's quite the distance. Okay? Who wrote this crap? I could tell you who wrote this crap. Ronald D. Moore wrote it with Pam Pietraforte.
Yeah, because if they if their crash was really 2 years ago, right? It was 2 years, 3 years. What was it? 2 years?
It is 3 years.
Why didn't the Federation know about it?
This is exactly what I'm saying, but it's also like if you receive a distress call and you're notified through Captain Lisa Cusack that all souls have been lost, save hers, the first thing you do is you contact Starfleet And
Right.
you're going to have a team come and do an investigation. There's going to have to be a reclaiming of the wreckage. The wreckage will be taken to one of Starfleet's wrecking yards, storage yards, part yards, and all of the families would have to be notified. That doesn't happen. Okay, so it's very weird, even 3 days in. All right, and then we get to the time traveling messages. So we have an entire crew having a full interactive conversation that is it's a lively interactive conversation with someone who is dead, who died 3 years ago, but apparently because there is a metreon barrier, her messages can travel across time to the exact time where they are, to converse with them and send out this distress signal. It doesn't make any sense. So is the distress beacon still working? Or is that also something from the metreon barrier? This is dumb. Okay, so all souls lost.
Well,
just the captain. This is dumb.
Why is the Defiant anywhere close to that anyway? Aren't they in the Beta Quadrant?
Yes.
How is the Defiant close to the Beta Quadrant?
I don't know. I just think, like, this is what I mean. Like, I don't know, like a Pam and Ronald. I don't know what they were doing this day. Like, what were they doing? Like, were they doing something other than writing? Because this is just complete and utter shite. Okay, so then I wrote in my notes, this episode is absolutely absurd, and you can't make excuses for it. This is a haunted cave story. This is 100% a haunted cave story that they strangled into a shitty, fake, goofy science fantasy. And you can tell that I'm mad because I don't agree with using profanity on air. I just don't. I think that it's kind of tasteless to use too much profanity. But that's what this is. It is a haunted cave story strangled into a shitty, fake, goofy science fantasy. There's no making excuses for it. It is shite, okay? Then we have cheesy funeral weirdness, okay? Not only is it melodramatic and cheap and hammy and gross, okay, and awful, where is Cusack's family? Why are they only burying Cusack? Why didn't they recover the bodies? Why didn't they at least recover the DNA samples from the other bodies and report them to Starfleet? Where is this woman's family, and why is she having this burial here? This happens all the time. Where are her friends? Where are her family? And only DS9 does this stupid crap. They do it over and over and over again. This is like the 4th time when someone dies. They have no family. They have no friends. They're not taken back to Earth. They're not taken back to Bajor. They're not taken anywhere. They're just buried at sea. So these writers are so lazy and sloppy. Like, you know how much this story would have been redeemed if Sisko would have contacted Starfleet. There would have been some sort of very short conversation with an admiral about the fact that all the souls were lost and that this strange thing happened with the metreon barrier, although that's complete. And then what ends up happening is that they say that they're sending the body home. Like that makes sense, but like they always do this. It's like their stupid courtroom dramas too. Everything in DS9, there's never a JAG officer. There's never a court. There's never even a proper judge. It's always one person, some sort of villain, and then Benjamin Lafayette Sisko defending them. Why? He's a captain. He has no business to. What? Anyway.
Wow, that was the greatest review.
There's no making excuses for it.
Nope, look, you can't get an argument out of me. Wowzer. Well done. I mean, look, hey, you got to call them as you sees them, I say.
Sorry, boss.
What are you sorry about?
Because the thing is that I guess the reason why I'm kind of cheesed off is because everyone here knows that I love Gothic horror. And Gothic horror isn't just reliant upon the supernatural. Sometimes Gothic horror is caused by man. So you get this creeping macabre, and it goes scientific. Well, we had that here, and we could have done some really cool things. But this is just being asleep at the wheel. Like, who did they write this for? A grade 5 class?
Yeah, I mean,
Just wasted.
What do you rate this one? What's your rating?
This is a D-. I nearly gave it an F.
Mm-hmm. Only a D-, huh?
It's like the haunted cave story. Ooh, the haunted cave. Ooh, can't go back.
Oh, man.
Come on now.
I'm going to go with a C- because I didn't really care that much, but I understand what you're saying. It's just really, yeah. Episode never really did all that much for me. I did guess I did kind of a little bit feel for the character of the Captain What's Her Name. I always wondered how in the hell they were anywhere near the Beta Quadrant. I still don't understand that.
Well, not only that, this distress call that is so powerful, it gets through a Metreon barrier, and the Olympia is crashed, but somehow a runabout gets through it, and that for 3 years with this distress call, this general distress beacon, going out in space that is strong enough. Oh my goodness, like strong enough. 6 days at maximum Starfleet warp. How many, like, how far is that? I don't know, because I don't know. I'm just a communications and technology scholar. I'm not a physicist, but I can tell you that doesn't make any effing sense.
Well, everyone, please start with your any ratings and any words you may have about this episode, about the sound of her voice. And while number one is starring those, I've got our good buddy Michael Beacom could not be here tonight, but I do have his reviews this time, and they are as follows. Let's see here. All right, this is from Michael Beacom, folks. The sound of her voice. He gives it a B+. He says, sometimes I just like the idea more than the execution. I'm kind of like that too sometimes. I really know what he means by that. He says, I give credit for effort, and they tried to do something sci-fi and also meaningful here. I thought it was inspired by Frequency, but that premiered after the episode in 2000. If the chat knows what other story they were ripping off, sing out. The DS9 companion said it was a pitch from freelancer Pam Pietroforte. I'm not sure how to say that name. Pretty much sure won't be surprised if that is a pseudonym, because no bio in IMDb. Two credits, both DS9, the companion sheds the companion. Page 583 sheds light on the fact that they thought they had failed because the time dilation twist was there from the beginning, but felt tacked on just to make it a twist. Still, it was not bad. So that's from Michael Beacom, folks. That's what he has to say about the sound of her voice. And so let me start off with our review. See what we got here. John Carter says, D for me. I really like the idea they had, but the movie Frequency with Dennis Quaid did it so much better. Yeah, there's another mention of Frequency. Okay. Princess Fiona says 343.5 light years.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 6 days at maximum warp.
Okay.
But no, she corrected it. She wrote another one here. She said 4 out of 3. Okay, 6 days at maximum warp is 343.5 light years away. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. I curtsy to you.
Princess Fiona also says, what none of the writers seem to understand is that with the advent of replicators, we've entered a post-scarcity economy. No longer having to worry about things like meds, supplies, or rare gems. Let's see here. Energy is plentiful as well, so they just need to come up with better plot lines that fit in with the world that they have already established. It's always a good point. Always a good point.
Right.
She got one other one. I got to find it yet. Let's see. There we go. Okay, Fiona. Let's see. These writers are either too lazy or too unskilled to pull it off. I never liked Cassidy. Her entire arc was pure cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Kyoto yuck. Is that it right? Kyoto yuck. Okay. Nobody acts like that, like they're actually in a military organization.
Yep.
No,
And they
don't.
wouldn't trust Cassidy after her. She didn't just go to jail. She went to prison for facilitating terrorism. And she did it by organizing her freighter with others. So why would they put her in charge of the entire fleet of freighters and make her the liaison to
Nepotism.
Starfleet, reporting all of the activity? What?
Well, she's she's in slick with one of the big commanders of the war there. What can I tell you? She's just,
It's just ridiculous.
Favoritism.
No,
nepotism.
sorry, it shouldn't have done that. It does that sometimes.
What happened?
It's okay. It's just
okay.
acting
We'll get to it,
mental
man.
again.
Mr. Angel says D. Cue music. The hills are alive with the sound of her voice. Just underwhelming episode. Alas, wake me up for a better one without all the weird, inconsistent world building and writing. You might be waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
Zaphra says he thinks it's the most wonderful episode ever, and he thinks this show is way better than Babylon 5. Oh, sorry. He says D-. JMS is laughing at the intellectual superiority of Bear and more. I think you mean inferiority.
You have to say laughing
at the superior intellect. Nice touch, buddy. I think Lim Scuba Pete says D. Stevie Wonder, I just called to say I'm from the Olympia. I just called to say I need some air. I just called to say Triox running low, and I'm surrounded by CO2 like a bed. I can't do Stevie Wonder. Sorry, I gave it the old never went to college try.
So good.
Simply Steve says F for the title alone. Wow, we're reviewing titles now, Steve. What now? What's that all about, buddy? The sound of her crap. Wait a minute. Am I to understand, sir? Am I to understand? Wait till I got to it. Still, where is it? Oh. I guess so. What you're saying is the sound of her crap. I got you. So
good.
Steve deserved that when he said time traveling messages, too many subplots continuing. The Kira Odo bromance hadn't grown much by this point.
Yeah.
Crew in depression, give him raspberry.
That was a great review. Thanks, Steve.
Nicely done, sir. Lisa says F+. Another form of time travel to experiment with. Poignant story of connecting with a ghost haunting. Mechanics of communication is a joke, just as much as watching Odo and Kira interact. Yuck. Wowzer.
I love you, Lisa. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'm blowing millions of kisses to you. I love you.
Kal-El says D-. It's rare for him. He doesn't usually give these low rates. He says, how many more episodes with rom-com subplots are left in the series anyway? You don't want to know. I don't know. I'm just saying that. When reviewing the episode his way, I had wondered if there was anything less interesting than the courtship in the show, and I think I found it. Specifics like Odo and Kira's 1 month anniversary. Oh, God, it was so boring. So Odo decides to not do his job and stop Quark from committing an illegal transaction. You ain't kidding, buddy. And Kira is okay with it. That's some great leadership right there. I'm sure Cisco will be pleased with that report if he ever gets it. That is, Jake decides to join in on the fun since he... Hang on. Got to find your next one here.
Yeah,
Needs more believable.
Making him an accessory.
Yeah, that's a good point. Needs more believable characters for his story. I'm sure that Cisco will be thrilled to hear about that today. Them too. Sorry, hear about that too. The only thing that saved this episode from getting an F is that I actually liked. Hang on. The Lisa character. I did too. I did like her. That's the thing that's always gotten me about the episode. As well as her interactions with the crew, and found myself genuinely disappointed that when they found her, it was too late to be of any real assistance to her. I guess I'm absolutely and 100% with you on that one, Steve. There was a nice performance by that lady actor, and I did like her interactions with the crew. With the orb of time was being rented by someone else.
Yes.
So could simply go back a few years and save her. No kidding. Yeah. An interesting premise, certainly, but it would have been better without the daytime
soap opera. That's what he's going to say.
Soap
Yep.
opera subplot. And had the Lisa character been rescued alive without the time travel trope being used once again. Yes.
I know. It was just 2 episodes ago. Also, everyone, guess who's here? Wendy and Jimmy are here. Everyone, wave hello to Wendy and Jimmy.
Wendy and Jimmy, so good to see you again. I hope you are all doing well.
I starred a message from Wendy, so you can read it. Boss, she had a message directly for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. I'm late, so sorry. I've missed. No one's ever late. I've missed Club and Raquel in the chat. I missed the overview of the episode, but that sounds like a good thing. Yeah, but Wendy, look, love having you here. Thank you so much.
Yep,
no one's ever late. No one's ever. You have been missed, absolutely. Jill, our wonderful communications officer, says C+. Several things bother me about this episode, but at least it gets the time travel right, even though it's magical fantasy. And agreed, it makes no sense, but it's a closed loop, right? Yeah, I see what you mean. They should have contacted Starfleet, and it's an incredible mistake when the episode decides to ignore such an important part of the universe, as evidenced here. Yep. Let's see here. I understand. Let's see. Odo has allowed Quark to get away with petty crime in order before to catch the bigger fish. So the only problem here is that he wasn't interested in the tuna because he's distracted by Kira.
The Kirodo factor.
Whoa. Disturbingly, Jake wanting to witness crime and promising not to disclose that information, which could have been morally problematic had someone's life been at stake, but nothing happens here. Yeah, I know. Look, hey, no, but nothing happens there. Sorry. Yes. At first, my main issue was going to be that there was way too much telling instead of showing. But the reveal of her having been dead for 3 years takes care of that concern. Okay. She's reaching into the ether with only her voice. So it reminded me of how we communicate maybe here on YouTube. The parallels were striking enough to overcome the mundanity of her conversations. Well, I hear you there. Well done as always, Jill. Thank you so much. The great enigmatic drop bear says D+. Setting aside the ridiculous notion of a two-way conversation happening in present time with someone 3 years in the past,
love you.
There is an arrogance at the core of this episode. Wow.
You're darn right.
It's cynically and underhandedly asserted DS9's ascendancy over TNG, the explorer who could not be saved, found dead in her TNG era uniform.
Yes, yes, yes,
Whoa.
yes.
Wow. Interesting. The backhanded shots at Troy were amusing, but at its heart, these scenes were cynical criticism of the benefits of dialogue and counseling, a centerpiece of TNG. Wow, that's another.
Where are you?
Wow, well done.
I love you.
Quark confiding his criminal designs with Jake on the promise that Jake will keep them secret from Ben was unbelievable. That entire thread was ridiculous and pointless.
Yeah.
Well said, sir. Well said, sir.
And now
Indeed,
he's
sir.
an accessory to whatever Quark did.
Yeah, he is kind of, isn't he? The AI show says C minus. If Henry James wrote mediocre science fiction, it might look like this episode. I call this "Turn Off the Screwed." I hear you. J.T. Kirk said D minus. I was in 5th grade when this originally aired in '98, and I could comment that even at that impressionable age, I hated the crap out of this episode. The writers ought banish themselves in a Matreon cloud. Yes, they should. And Fanty Outsidey says he. D. So during a time of war, they respond to a distress call, but do not check the records to see if that's an actual ship in the area. Not a trap. The actual point of the episode was to show the crew have been drifting apart due to the stress of the war, but they seemed stuck on time travel after Time's orphan.
yes.
Ugh. They're obsessed with time travel on this show more than anybody else.
Bad. And they do it and parallel universes, just at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, of course. So are we done with this one?
Yes, please.
All right, folks. Well, we will quickly move on to our next episode.
Let's do it.
Which is Rears of the Prophets.
Yes.
And I'm gonna take some medicine real quick. So I'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, please watch my 6 wrenches because I'm not going to be looking up. So take care of the chat, please. Okay, Tears of the Prophets is season 6, episode 26, prod code 550 if you're following along in the companion. Excuse me, I have to cough. Sorry, the wildfires here are really bad and I have an irritated throat. I don't have a cold or anything. So this first aired on June 15th, 1998. And now I'm going to read from Wikipedia. It might suck. Don't worry, we'll get through it together. Admiral Ross informs Captain Benjamin Sisko that Starfleet intends to go on the offensive in the war against the Dominion. They decide to attack the Chincoda star system, but must attack soon, as intelligence arrives that the Cardassians and the Dominion are about to improve Toka's the ridiculous names, defenses with unmanned weapon platforms. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Commander Worf and Lieutenant Commander Jadzia Dax discuss their plans to have a baby. The night before the attack, Sisko receives a vision from the prophets, who warn him not to leave the station. Sisko tells Ross about the vision, who responds that he must decide between his duty to Starfleet and the prophets. Meanwhile, the Cardassian leader Damar and his Dominion handler Wei Yun receive an unexpected visit from Damar's predecessor, Dukat. Dukat discloses his plan to allow one of the enemies of the prophets, the Pa race, to possess him. He breaks a Bajoran artifact, releasing a red mist, and enters his body. The attack fleet arrives at the Chintoka just as the weapons platforms are activated. As the fleet is being destroyed on board the USS Defiant, Elam Garak, a Cardassian working with Starfleet, infers the platforms can be taken offline if they find and destroy the central power source. On Deep Space Nine, Dax is visiting the Bajoran temple when Dukat, possessed by the Pa race, suddenly transports in. He hits her with a bolt of energy from his hands, and she collapses. Well, it wasn't really like that. It was more like a Care Bear stare. So it's like a huge energy field. It wasn't a bolt. Like, he's not Zeus. I don't know who wrote this, but yeah, it's a Care Bear stare. Anyways, evil Care Bear stare. He opens an orb of the prophets, and the paw wraith leaves his body, entering the orb, which turns black. Outside the station, the Bajoran wormhole implodes. Implodes. Doesn't it just close? Who wrote this? Shin kicks. On the Defiant, Cisco is shaken, sensing the attack on the prophets. Major Kira takes over and successfully commands the destruction of the weapons platforms. After the battle, they are summoned urgently back to the station. When they arrive, they are informed that the wormhole is gone and that all the Bajoran orbs have turned dark. Oh, I thought it imploded. Who wrote this? Shin kicks. Dr. Bashir is able to save the Dax symbiont that shares Jadzia's consciousness, but not Jadzia herself. She survives long enough to say goodbye to Worf. Over Jadzia's coffin, Cisco decides that he must take a leave of absence on Earth. He departs with his son Jake, leaving Kira in charge of DS9. And that is all Wikipedia has to say about Tears of the Prophets. I'm going to throw it over to you, boss. What'd you think of this craptastic show?
Well, oh boy, look. No one look. I don't know what you do about Dax because Terry Farrell was leaving. She wanted to leave, and that is not the fault of anybody. Well, those guys may have chased her off the show, but she took a cushier job for a paycheck on a sitcom, which would have been a lot easier than making this show, I guess.
But
probably more money.
But you can't really say that they chased her off the show, though.
I didn't. Okay, I'll take it back then.
Because both parties agreed that she wanted to have a highly edited.
Okay.
She did not want to be available for every episode.
Okay, well, fair enough.
And the studio executives, she originally blamed one or two people, but people have come back and said, look, the studio said she needed to be all in or not at all. And so when it came to renewing her contract, she decided that she was going to move on and go elsewhere. And there were some statements made about misogyny and things like that. But the thing is that if you are signed to a show and you are a regular part of the bridge crew, and you say, look, I actually want to do another show while I'm also doing this show, and I just want to do a few episodes here and there. I want to be a reoccurring character. Let me do that. And the studio executives decide, well, no, we're just going to fill your role with someone else. You have to accept that. You made your decision, and you have to take responsibility for your decision.
I didn't mean to get that. My point is, she had to leave, so they were going to write. They're writing her out. They want to keep the Dax. I guess she's been like a normal being. Yeah, they could have just let her go off somewhere, but they wanted to keep the Dax element to it, so they did. They were going to kill her.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that's the episode annoys me because they had to kill her. I get it.
Yeah.
And you're going to kill her. How you could have? I personally think it would have been better to do it in that episode a few episodes back where she died on that planet, and Worf doesn't have to do something really horrible
and dumb.
Which is what he does, and dumb and stupid. It would have been far more meaning to her death than this garbage.
Yep.
This was a shitey way to kill her.
Yep.
Crapper, garbage, stupid. It would have been much more meaningful if they'd done it in that episode. Worf, it would have been saved millions of lives, but no. So the judgments are terrible, in my opinion.
And regarding that episode, if folks want to hear the direct quotations from all parties involved, rather than turning to the internet to hear the rumor mills and the vitriol and the accusations and the name calling, set all that aside. If you would like to hear those direct quotes, they are attached to that episode that Clobby is speaking about, and I encourage you to listen to quotes from both sides in order to render your verdict. I know that, or to just stay neutral, because there's a lot of stuff going on social media where people were very angry and there was lots of name calling, but there are two sides to every story, and it's really important to listen to both sides before deciding to attack people on social media. That doesn't work.
Well, the episode was called Change of Heart, by the way. So anyway, I think that would have been better. if she just died in that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so she's dead. It was stupidly done. I cannot stand all that. You know how I am about the Bajoran prophets and parades and all that kind of crap. Gul Dukat has gone from being a very interesting, well played character by Marco Lama, who's just terrific, to an annoying, silly supervillain now.
Demon.
He's a demon. He's just crap. I just don't. I can't. Every time I see him now, I can't stand him. When before he was an interesting character, he was supposed to be annoying, but he was in a good way, very well played. So I don't like that. I don't like any of this crap. We get Kai Ratchet again.
Mm-hmm.
We get now some of the stuff with the spaceships was, some of the battle stuff. You get some nice, really cool battles, spaceship battles and stuff like that. I think, which are pretty nice. But for the most part, I got nothing for the episode. I didn't really just an end of what is turned out to be seemingly a terrible season.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess. So anyway, notes.
Well, I'm gonna doff my cap to Her Royal Highness here and go with Kirodo. Lovers arguing. This is the beginning of the episode. Just these two arguing, Kira and Odo, or Kirodo, as Her Royal Highness refers to it. I just absolutely love it.
I love it.
Then Jadzia and Worf are trying to have a baby. It's just the love boat. Starfleet is invading Cardassia. That's more. Okay. Now here's where I'm going to lose my shit, but I just can't help it. Okay, there are over 100 planets in the Federation. Over 100 of them. Okay, why did they write a meeting where only the Terrans, the Klingons, and the Romulans attend? So you've got your little Earthlings, you've got some Klingons, and you've got some Romulans. This is why DS9 is why Star Trek normies are dumb about Star Trek. I place the blame squarely on the crappy writing of DS9. Okay, there is no vision. I want to know where everyone is. Where is everyone? Where are the Vulcans? Where are all of where are the Bolians? Where are where is Beta Z? Where is everyone? Okay, over 100 planets, over 100 species, and all we have here are the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Earthlings. Okay, and then I wrote in my notes, these wars that are created by Ronald D. Moore cannot exist in Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, okay? And that's not because Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek is unrealistic. Nothing could be further from the truth. People say that, but that is complete and utter shit. That is not true. The reason why is not because Gene Roddenberry's storytelling is unrealistic. It's because Ronald D. Moore's is. Because the United Federation of Planets would have an insanely huge fleet with insanely strong firepower. There would be hundreds of thousands of warships and Galaxy-class starships ready to do battle with the Dominion. But instead, they squish the universe down into Romulans and Klingons. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. This writing is dumb, and it makes people who start out with DS9, which people claim in studies and surveys is the least Star Trek of the Star Trek, which is why normies like it. This is why normies are dumb about Star Trek, because of this squishing of the universe. And Ronald D. Moore saying that Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek isn't possible. It isn't that Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek isn't possible. It's that Ronald D. Moore's Star Trek is impossible. It's absurd. It's stupid. Why would 3 races out of 100 planets in this massive federation fight against the Dominion and no one else? And a dozen ships show up. What are we doing? Buying donuts at the bakery? What the hell is going on here? Anyway, stop saying that Ronald D. Moore's universe makes way more sense and is more realistic than Gene Roddenberry's. It is not. That is complete and utter shit. It's not true. 100 planets of ships? Get out of here. Anyway, sorry. Quark and Julian crying over Jadzia being pregnant is effing weird. I don't know why they're doing this, but it's weird. Okay? And then we have some wormhole alien visions. And then I have here in my notes, I never bought the Admiral's speech. Starfleet and the Federation would be delighted to indulge the chance to engage with these omnipotent beings living in the wormhole. But the writers only see religion here, not sci-fi. So if we had some sci-fi writers here, Gene L. Kuhn, D.C. Fontana, Gene Roddenberry, any of the Holy Trinity there, they would have been able to turn these omnipotent beings into two very different things that appeal to these people in very different ways. But Starfleet, with the chance to meet beings that live inside of a wormhole, who are omnipotent and non-linear and can enter and exit bodies and control time, Starfleet would be all over them. They would be so far up their butt, their noses would be brown. Starfleet would be excited about the wormhole aliens. They would not be just like, oh, this is just you're just a messiah, and you're getting involved with those prophets. That's blah. What? Yeah, I never bought the Admiral's speech. That's a bunch of crap. It's anti-Star Trek. Doesn't make any sense. It's indefensible. Don't even try and defend it because it's just dumb.
Nice.
And now Ducat is possessed by one of the demons.
Yes, he's a father.
That's all I put in my my notes. Sorry about that.
Well done. No, look, hey, do what you got to do here. I love it. Yeah. So, well, what's your rating of Rears of the Prophets?
This crap that is anti-Star Trek, for Ronald D. Moore's comments and all of his little minions who have openly commented on the record in the companion that Gene Roddenberry's universe doesn't make any sense and isn't realistic, and then they write this schlock and make fools out of themselves. This gets an F. It's an F for F you.
I concur. I give it an F. It's unbelievably boring garbage. Just hate everything about it. I mean, well, spaceships look cool, but so what? I don't care. It's I'm an F. I just don't really give a crap about this stuff. I'm so well, breaking.
And Princess Fiona, Her Royal Highness, has corrected me. I stand corrected, and I would like to apologize for my error. Wormhole aliens actually have pink buttholes, so their noses would be pink. Thank you, Princess Fiona. I do love you.
Oh boy, great. All right, everybody. Please give us your ratings of Rears of the Prophets and any words you may have as a review. And while you're doing that, number one, we'll be starring those, and I will bring us the great Mr. Michael Beacom's comments on the episode. So, a good buddy Michael Beacom, who could not make it tonight, sent me his reviews, and they are as well. You got his other one early. This one is as follows: the last episode of season 6 of Deep Space Nine. Here we go. Tears of the Prophets. D, he rates it. Page 586. I didn't want to kill Jadzia, Ira Bear states. To me, that has very little to do with good storytelling. Ira, how can you be so right when talking about your work and still so wrong, says Michael. When you were doing the work, your reason finisher sucks because you Tasha Yard Dax. I know Terry Farrell wanted to leave, but the depth feels just as petty and okay, I'm a very small screen. Retributive. Thanks, you, Terry. Thank you. Abandoned. This is kind of disjointed here. Oh, here we go. Terry, you abandoned DS9 right before the finish line to join the Ted Danson and Becker. He's speaking to Terry Farrell, I guess. Where I'm sure you were gratified by the endless fan dedication, Becker conventions, books, Becker action figures, and oh wait. But doubtless it was way more rewarding than Star Trek, even though you and the other secondary cast members walked out in Becker season 3 in salary protest. Yep, obviously good call. As As for a list of the best and worst of season, I'm going to have to leave that up to everyone. Chime in later. Thank you. Okay, that's our good buddy Michael Beacom. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Okay, Lisa says A plus 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 plus. Dax and Worf disaster over. Wow. Oh man, profits over. Are they though? So much shite. Even Cisco needed to pack up and take a break from these storylines. Was Cisco scrubbing clams for pizza at the end? Talk to Mark D about that. Just kidding. It's another F.
That's probably one of the best reviews in the history of our show, no matter which iteration of Star Trek. That, Lisa, is one of, in my opinion, one of the best reviews we've ever had since we started this show in 2021. Oh, God, I'm crying.
Nicely done, Lisa. Yes, and I wish it was the end of the Prophets. Afraid not. Fiona says, they're just not good enough to write stories in Gene Roddenberry's universe. That's the problem. Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
They should stay away from it. Yeah, they were good enough to, they were good enough to cash the paycheck they got for screwing around with this universe. Fiona also says, fantasy Trek. I have nothing against fantasy, but I don't want it in my Star Trek. This is space fantasy wearing a loose science fiction clothing, and I'm over it. F.
Yeah.
F minus even. Even Garrick is cringe here. Yeah, that's tough to make Garrick cringy. Yeah. But, you know. JT Kirk says D. Not the worst season finale. Some good Starship scenes are great, but that's it. Boris Badenoff, Ducat, and Natasha Wayoun are hammy and are purely motivated by what the plot needs of them. Yeah, got another good point. Instead of deletion by a Care Bear stare, some type of glorious sacrifice would have saved Farrell from an Armis departure. The symbiote is organic. How does it endure the CBS but not Jadzia? I do not know the answer to that question, sir. I'm sorry. Zapper says D minus. Who cares? Let's listen to Stevie Wonder instead. But for that, I just can't. Let's see. F says the great Simply Steve, 68. He says sneers of Worf mourns for no one, not even Jadzia. The wormhole collapses? ? Cisco isn't concerned about loss of contact. Devil Ducat, derp, disgusting, Station 9, yuck. Kirodo, apt name indeed. I couldn't follow much of that, but
that's courtesy of Princess Fiona.
No, I got that part. But hey, Simply Steve, thank you, buddy. Wendy and Jimmy. Wendy Trummer Warrior, says F. I can't believe I'm saying this. I've had too much vodka to give this episode a rating and remain in the PG realm. Better stop touching the keyboard. Well, we're just glad to have you here, Wendy.
I love Wendy's reviews.
Classic Comics says, question, does Cisco's father's restaurant serve clam pizza? No. That's in New Orleans. It would never do that. And I know. So even the New Orleans of the 24th century doesn't do that. Mr. Angel says F. Hats off. Vaya con Dios, Jadzia. You deserved better. Well, you deserved a better written ending. Oh, warrior queen. Rest of the episode, less I say, the better. Yeah. What a season. Oh, boy. Yeah. Kal-El says F minus. My goodness. He's given some tough ratings lately, man. I'm balanced. As far as season finales go, this episode was horrible, but it served its purpose in furthering the ongoing narrative. Surprisingly, the subplot involving Odo and Kira actually makes sense. Actually makes sense here, as it's somewhat believable that Odo's inexperience with relationships would cause such an overreaction on his part. Anakin and Padme, Worf and Dax are as nauseating as ever with. Hang on. Get to the next one here. Their dialogue in this episode. If there were any tears in this episode, it would have come from the audience crying with laughter as Emperor Palpatine Dukat used the Star Trek equivalent of force lightning to end Jadzia's life. The character certainly deserved a better exit from the series. This just reminds me of the senseless death of Tasha Yar by Armus. On to the next season. I hear you, partner.
Boss man.
Yeah, see
Gil Babel just walks through the door. Everyone say hello to Cardinal Sin.
Cardi!
Cardi!
Up, buddy? All right, man. Good to see you, and thank you for that. I'll get right to it. Cardinal Sin leaves a super chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, buddy. He says, howdy, collaborations and clobberers. Well, thank you so much, Cardi. Appreciate you, buddy. I hope you're having a great night and doing well, my buddy. Anti-Derivative Joe, our lovely communications officer. And if you want to come in, let me know if you can come with your best and worst. Mark can't make it tonight, Jill, but if you feel like it, it's up to you. Because you know what? I don't have anything prepared. I'm winging it. Of course, it wasn't that difficult either. D, she says, this episode only concerns itself with the war tactics between both sides and feels very confined as a result, while offering nothing of inspiration, insight, or usefulness. Oh, and Dukat went crazy. Yeah. Scuba Pete says, F. Mamas and the Papas. All of the wormhole is gone, and the orbs are darker than gray. Man, I know the song you're talking about, but anyway. Dax went for a walk, and Dukat was possessed by a padre. I can't do it, man. I need time to practice it, man. You give me no time to practice it.
Good stuff. Scoop Pete's always got the good stuff. Good stuff.
The great enigmatic drop bear says G. Our mustache twirling villain Dukat is back with a cunning plan. Sounds like Baldric. A cunning plan to become the emissary of the pirates. I wonder what kind of showdown this is foreshadowing. I wonder. The erasure of Jadzia was as clumsy as Tasha Yar's, and what better way to cheapen her death than do it at the hands of our emasculated villain Dukat? Yes, so that sucked. This episode reveals the deep structural flaws that DS9 has developed. The power wraiths are far too undeveloped and highlight the black and white good versus evil simplicity the DS9 has become. Wow, yep. Excellent. Well said. Sean Carter, thank you for that. $5 super chat. You're too kind, man. That's very generous of you. He says, this one is for the chat. I know a lot of you send me hellos, but sadly, I can't usually respond as I'm driving. Just wanted to let you all know. Well, hey, just glad you're here. That's all that matters, sir. Great. It's always great to have you here, buddy. Yep. Thank you so much. The AI show says D-. Might as well call this episode Dax Gets Axed. Good one. Yeah, there you go.
That's good. Nice. That's good. Wish I would have thought of that. That's good. That's juicy.
Yeah, it's Dave G. Sound said it's a D. No rewatch needed nor desired. Yeah, boy. Yeah. A lot of them this season. Fiona says Worf Dax won. We'll see. Worf. Well,
Dax the Worf and Dax relationship. Is
it
wax?
Okay.
Is it the Orf? Is it Jadzia Orf? Or is it Wardzia?
Wardzia. Poll.
I think Wardzia.
Once we do
That's a gooder. That's a gooder.
Probably should do a poll of that. Yeah. Well,
I thought you'd like that.
You don't have to worry about it anymore because they're gone. They're done. There's no more Jadzia anymore. Yep. I'm not going to tell you what happens next about any of that. So, wow, my goodness, we finished the whole season. My good lordy, Lord.
Just think, everyone at home. Just think about just the humanoid species from the OG, from a TOS. Just think about all of those humanoid species and all of their different powers and how they've joined the Federation and none of them show up.
Yeah.
None of them show up. Like just looking at the list. Do you know what I mean? Like where is everyone? Yeah. Anyway, I'm just looking at all of the different species. Bolian, Denoblian, the Daud, right? The Adosians,
Right.
the Ferengi, like all of these races. Like where are they? Why? Yeah, where are the Deltans? Where are the Deltans?
I'll never know. Hey, Mighty Orbots. They don't know.
Mighty Orbots.
They don't know, and they don't care. Probably more so overrated. Good God, I've always thought so, but no one listens to me. Yeah, and this, I'd like to say the 7th season will get better, folks. I don't know, maybe it will. I mean, I have not thought going back through this episode piece by piece. This series, piece by piece, that I would have such a low regard for them by episodes. Because I've always, I've liked the show, but man, and I like the actors and stuff like that, I guess. And I've liked the characters, but man, oh man, going back under further review, wow. In fact, what we're going to do in a minute, Jill will join us. No one listens to Zathras either. Says Fiona. I listen to Zathras. That's what's only there Zathras do. Zathras not so good at thinking, just good at doing. Where are the Andorians?
Yeah, where are the Andorians? The Andorians, the Deltans, the Vulcans. Like, where is everyone?
Yeah.
Like, it's just where, like, there's a united federation of planets, and it's over 100. And according to Kirk, like more are joining every month. So by the time you go from Kirk to like, come on, man, a dozen ships and 3 races show up to an intergalactic war over the universe. Come on, what a bunch of horse poo.
Yeah, they even mention. From time to time they'll mention some of these other races.
Yeah. It's because
Andorian the other night.
It's because when Gene Roddenberry thought about making a meeting, everyone was there. Not all of the aliens got to speak, but he made sure that there was a significant variety there to show this burgeoning united federation of planets, these people who all agreed on peace and edification and scientific exploration. Okay, but when you're in the mind of Ronald D. Moore and his room full of nincompoops, all they're thinking about is this episode being about religion, number one, instead of approaching the wormhole aliens from the perspective of, hey, what if gods are actually aliens? And they shrink the universe down to 3 races so that they can grapple with it. Because if the Dominion really had to go up against the United Federation of Planets, not just Starfleet, but the United Federation of Planets, the Dominion would be crushed instantly. So you have to completely suppress, squeeze shut Gene Roddenberry's expansive, glorious, beautiful universe that makes sense, so that so that his tiny little war makes sense. And so, yeah, I'm just calling him on his BS.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a link there, Jill. I don't know if you have a list because I forgot to mention this to you. So, but we can, I don't know. I mean, you want to, well, there she is. Jilly.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up? Good
Evening.
Hey there.
Yeah, not too much, just hanging out. Glad to be here. I do have some episodes.
Do you have a list?
I do.
I'm glad somebody does. I know probably number one does too.
I never know if I'm going to be asked on, so I always prepare just in case.
Well, at the end of the season, we like to have kind of a little party type thingy, and besides, it makes me look better that when someone else has, I'm not, when at least 2 of us here of the 3,
well,
usually.
Sometimes we're celebrating the season, and sometimes we're celebrating the end of the season.
You don't have a You don't have a spreadsheet on you, do you?
No,
No.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
That's Mark.
Victor Fontaine. Yeah, no, that's Mark. I was kidding. He's by the way, he would be offended if you probably did because it's his job to have the spreadsheet.
I know. I don't want to supplant his work. I want to look at his
He sent me some. He sent some kind of spreadsheet, but it's got all it does is have the episodes of the Saturday Night Star Trek on there.
It's a nerd sheet.
So he didn't send anything else. That's cool. If he wants to talk about him, I could send him. Anyway, we'll just have to muddle on without spreadsheets. And what we'll do basically, and we'll have a shorter show tonight, everybody, because hey, we've already handled the episodes. What we'll do though is it'll be a lot quicker work if we go after the ones that we like, or if either of you have managed to put together a list of your favorite. Now, I mentioned top 5, but that's a little unrealistic for me.
No,
I can't.
That doesn't work. I got 3.
But
that's
if you can,
I did what was ordered. I can.
You did 5. You did 5. You did 5.
I did.
Okay. And number 1, you said you couldn't.
Man, I got 3. That's all I got.
I can cut it down to 3. I can skip.
Oh, do 5.
No. If you could find 5 flowers growing in this mound of dog poop, by all means, present them.
Well, I might just be a little more forgiving of the ridiculousness of it.
That's okay.
I don't know why.
Oh, look, hey, you know how it is around here. People no one has to agree on anything. And, except for Mark, he has to agree with us because,
it's in his contract.
Just kidding. He's probably here. He might be hearing us, so we had to say that.
Damn it, Mark.
Damn it, Mark. Okay, so
engineers.
What we'll do, I guess, then is number 1. Why don't you start with your the episodes of the season that you liked, of top 3, top 40, whatever it is. Just go for it.
Okay. All right. So first, I only have 3 because this is mountainous dog crap, and it's just not worth it. So my first one is statistical probabilities.
Oh, okay.
I gave statistical probabilities an A. For obvious reasons. I thought the acting was really good in this episode, but let's face it, everyone here knows that I am a massive fan of Isaac Asimov, and obviously this is from Foundation. This is the concept of psychohistory. It is acknowledged as such, so I'm not upset with it. They don't borrow from Isaac Asimov and then pretend like, oh, what are you talking about? It's familiar. We didn't mean that. No, they actually would come right out and say, yeah, we love the idea of psychohistory and we borrowed it because it's great fun. So this was at least science fiction and one of my heroes, Isaac Asimov, and I love the idea of psychohistory. If you're unfamiliar with the idea of psychohistory, it's when you begin to calculate how significant populations react to stimuli, react to disaster, react to changes in climate, and all these things. And it's all forced into a calculation of, how often they'll go to war, when people will seek to expand their empires, when there will be a feast, when there will be a famine, when there will be massive changes in government. And then you make these predictions. And so this is what psychohistory is. It's actually the mathematical calculation of large scale decisions made by significant populations and the effect they will have. So I love it. And I gave it an A because of that.
Oh yeah, I definitely like that too because of how it uses the statistics, but shows that the statistics aren't always the correct answer. And
yes.
How Serena is really the hero in that story and figuring things out for the Dominion War.
Yeah, you can ultimately change psychohistory, and obviously that is science fiction, and we don't get a lot of science fiction in DS9, so I gave it an A because I was happy to see it. There are some weaknesses in the episode, but I'm not going to penalize it because, by God, when they serve up science fiction, when you're watching The Love Boat and Three's Company, you're in. The next one I have is In the Pale Moonlight. In the Pale Moonlight, I gave an A+, but I also gave it an F, and everyone knows why. Ben Sisko becomes basically, the sort of this mad admiral, this person who snapped his crayons. and it becomes an increasingly un-Star Trek show. There's no denying that this episode is excellent. It's well written. It's well acted. It has an expert concept. But now Sisko is no longer a Gene Roddenberry captain. So you have to judge this episode as a DS9 episode, not as a Star Trek episode, or the wheels come off immediately. The Garrick twist, I thought, is an example of a very, very high quality writing. It's impressive, even upon multiple rewatches. I enjoy it every time. There is no high-minded lesson from Gene Roddenberry here, and that can be a little bit sad because we have lying, we have cheating, bribing, we have accessory to murder, and basically he says he has no guilt. So as a DS9 episode, it's A+. Certainly, this would never have been made if Gene Roddenberry were alive. So I also have to give it an F. And then,
he says he has no guilt, but he is ashamed enough to erase the log. So obviously there was some sort of admonishment from within him that what he's done is not right.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, it's murder. That's not. So what if he
rapes? Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
That's not good.
But what saves it for me is that he didn't know that Garrick was going to kill the senator. But
yes, definitely. Well, he's very and it's great that Garrick does that for him. But leading up to all of that, he says he has no guilt, and it remains to be debated why he deletes the log. Certainly, I think that's to save his own ass, not because he feels guilty. Because if he truly felt guilty, he would be like Gene Roddenberry, and he would go forth just like Kirk did many times, and just like Spock did many times, and said, "I accept a full court-martial. Throw me in jail, execute me if you have to. I've done the wrong thing here." And he doesn't do that. So it's very
that would have been incredible if he did that.
Yeah. And then my third offering is Rocks and Shoals, which is season 6, episode 2. How things have changed since 1997, I noted, when damn was unacceptable profanity on the bridge. Someone is admonished for saying damn. Certainly that comes from O'Brien. Even a child could predict the catastrophic injury to a crew member. It's a little bit too predictable, so I docked it a bit of points there. Why would there be hotels, implying purchase and complaints and room service? Jadzia isn't human, and every hotel on Earth has food replicators and food synthesizers since the 23rd century. So again, the implication in TOS was that a food source for long-term space travel, but by TNG, it is clear they eradicated world hunger, drastically reduced agriculture, and as Riker puts it, put a stop to all consumption of living creatures. So we have some inconsistencies there. So I had to dock it a bit, gave it a B+, but Christopher O'Shea. Now, I realize that he has anglicized his name for America so that people don't realize that he's Irish, but he's definitely Irish. Christopher O'Shea is brilliant as Kevon. Just, he is so evil and so duplicitous, and just, he plays this character marvelously. And I also really love the idea of this whole Rocks and Shoals, because it certainly is a fitting title. So very creative all the way around, though some weaknesses. So statistical probabilities, In the Pale Moonlight, and Rocks and Shoals. And that'll do it for me, Captain.
All right. By the way, Lieutenant Crittenden, welcome. Good to see you. And you could all, by the way, if any of you have, if you just want to write a couple of episodes down, the 3 will do that you liked. Whenever you want to start that, we're going to get Jill to give us some now, and then I'll give mine. But if you want to start doing that, or I'll just say the word, just think about it before you. When I'll say the word, I'll get you to do that. So, Jill, what you got? It could be, if you want to go 5, you can. It's just up to you.
Well, my 5 and 4 are the beginnings of season 6. I thought it went off to a good
Thank you, Cardi.
start.
Cardinal Sin for the super chat. Thank you so much for Star Trek. Woo-hoo indeed. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
I apologize. I need to step away for a moment. My child needs me.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead, handle it. I'll just give mine and then you can come back and give yours. Because mine won't take long, because you did 2 of them. Number 1.
All right, boss.
With statistical probabilities, everything you said, loved that. I thought that was one of the few really, really entertaining episodes of the year. I did the Pale Moonlight for the same reasons you gave it. I do understand the F though as well. Absolutely could not agree more. I think Cisco in that scene, I believe that I don't know if I believe that he had no remorse or he was just hiding it from himself, lying to himself. He did say, "I can live with that," and then he he erased the log. But I'm like you. Did he do it because he was just covering his ass? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to lie to himself. But the episode on that just level of Deep Space Nine is highly entertaining and very well done.
Yep.
The one I like, my guilty. I like Rock and Shoals, okay, but I think the only other one that I had a lot of fun with that most people think it was ridiculous because it is ridiculous, but it's fun science fantasy fiction was One Little Ship. I just thought they just kind of let themselves go and have something like just crazy, silly fun, and I enjoyed it for what it was. But honestly, there may be some other ones that I'm just forgetting about that I liked. They're not coming to me. I even went back and looked at a list. If anything stuck out, I mean, maybe some did. Hey, Linrod.
Linrod.
Good to see you. Maybe there were some.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I give One Little Ship a C-.
I don't know. I just kind of
because that's the Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing.
Yeah, I know. I liked it. I told you.
I had to leave
for
that
dopey.
review. I never knew what you reviewed.
Yeah, I had to. I just
that's
I
gonna
like
be funny
that
in a minute.
It was funny. I just thought it was a fun episode. It was goofy fun. So, Jill, because this season is so other than the ones we just named. I'm not even super enthused about those, except for statistical probabilities. But so, go ahead and throw the 5 that you have.
Okay, it's funny that Raquel gives that one a C- because I have a different review for it. Mm-hmm. My 5 and 4 episodes were because I think that they sort of did start with the Dominion War in season 6 pretty well with Time to Stand and Rocks and Shoals. So I like those two, but I don't actually have a lot to say about them. I just like part of that arc in general before they start infusing the prophets and the Pra race and all of that stuff is kind of where they start losing it at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But it's all for drama, and those 2 episodes worked really well for me.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Then my 3rd favorite episode was In the Pale Moonlight. It's a pretty stunning episode for all the reasons Raquel already mentioned. I agree with those. But then my 2nd favorite was so I know you guys didn't really like this one, but I really did enjoy Worf and Jadzia's wedding. I loved Cordially Invited.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is because the humor actually does work for me. I laugh about a dozen times, and I can get it if the humor doesn't work for you. Not like
no. I did laugh when idiots O'Brien and Bashir were hanging when he says, "I'm going to kill Worf."
Yeah, stuff like that. It worked on me. Yeah. I enjoy the traditions that lead to the trials that Jadzia has to go through, but even though Cirilla being completely awful actually doesn't bother me because she's not Starfleet, so all of those values aren't necessary to impart on her, and so some of the excessive pride at best and the straight prejudice at worst made her a compelling antagonist against Jadzia for her to overcome. And of course, not all Klingons are as narrow-minded as she is, but she does come around in the end. And so it's funny that you just said that One Little Ship was a C-, because that's actually my 2nd favorite episode of Deep Space Nine. I have.
Oh, okay.
I think, I have an irrational enjoyment of the science fantasy aspect. Of miniaturization.
I like,
and I know.
Stuff.
Yeah, me too. I think it's ridiculous, but I love it anyhow. And the episode delivers on the absurd technobabble and kind of incorporating some Star Trek technobabble in it because of the teamwork required. I like the idea of facing challenges because of your dimensions.
Right.
And
they didn't have the anime. It's like it was almost like an animated series episode.
Yeah, this would have been great.
They did have the animated series.
I think actually. Voyager has a lot. I know we're not there yet, but Voyager has a lot of science fantasy aspects, and I think it would have been great as an animated series.
Yep.
And I actually did like that they addressed the big air molecule issue. And so even though it's a silly episode, it was a lot of fun for me.
Yep. Gotcha.
Those are mine.
You all right? There?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm here.
So
those were all my episodes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's a tough season, isn't it? It's a tough season.
It is.
I mean, I think our next, by the way, everyone, if you want to put your episodes up, your favorites, please do. I bet the next ones, I don't know why, especially I think for us, for Raquel and myself anyway, are going to be much easier to deal with. In fact, there's going to be an embarrassment of riches in this department, I think. Number one, what is your top 50 bottom 50 episodes?
Okay, let's do this, folks.
What you got? You could do 10, 5, 100, I mean, whatever.
Okay, well, I got lots. I mean, I gave like most of the season D's and lots of F's. I mean, F's aplenty, right? But some stood out. So I'm not going to do them in any particular order. I'm just going to discuss them. So the first disgusting offender is Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night, which is season 6, episode 17. It's so weird that the writers decided to go in this direction. Ducat has been trying to be with Kira since the beginning, meaning he'd have to have sex with both the mother and the daughter. Unenjoyable excuse for science fiction. Ducat getting coded messages needs to be reported regardless of the nature of it. It's a security breach. The Orb of Time. Oh my gosh, everyone, the Orb of Time. How lovely. The Bajorans can time travel at will through an orb. That's not problematic at all. I thought the wormhole aliens considered time irrelevant and lived without linear reality or time. So why send a time orb to have the Bajorans worship it, and only to have everything that the wormhole aliens are concocting possibly be interfered with? Does it make
I agree
any
completely.
sense?
I think the Orb of Time would have been better if it was only a viewing device where you could possibly view all of time in any order, but not actually have an impact on it.
Look who popped in.
Hey, Mark!
Hey.
Okay, Mark
Spreadsheets.
Mark is celebrating the graduation of his offspring from college. So please don't expect him to reply, everyone, because he.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Captain
Okay. Kira,
congratulations.
Congrats, buddy.
Mark.
To the offspring. Kira interferes with the timeline immediately. She doesn't stop. She starts mugging people, bombing, acting like a terrorist. As a child, this one thing has always bothered me on the rewatch. As a child, Kira has bright blue eyes, and obviously they're brown when she's an adult. So Kira's deep character study is that her mother was Ducat's lover, and so Kira would like to kill her own mother. 0 spoonheads out of 10. And also, Ducat would remember Kira. So I gave that one an F.
Absolutely. By the way, Admiral T, good to see you, buddy. Welcome.
Good evening, Admiral T. And the next
Captain
one.
Doomspeed Skywalker. Yes, Skywalker, I got your... I did get that review, but it was for some reason it was much later. I'll get to it though. It was, by the way, the things here too. By the way, the
thing, ding, 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 ding.
I love when you do that.
So the next defender is the disgusting crap called Inquisition. This is season 6, episode 18.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Sloan just have Julian examined by a doctor? This point forward is unbelievable because Julian would ask, where is Julian Bashir's JAG officer? Starfleet has no legal regulations or processes in this episode. Why is Benjamin Lafayette Sisko always the only legal representation Starfleet officers get when they're on DS9? A doctor not asking for a lawyer is dumb. This episode plays Julian and the viewer as nincompoops. Also, for the birth of Section 31.
Yeah, for that's going to be my number one spoiler.
There is no such thing as Section 31. This black ops that would argue against the morals, ethics, values, and laws of Starfleet and the Federation. Once I wasn't so severe on this, but now that with this filth, it's become a monster. And what do we have next here? Oh, where did it go? Oh, sorry. It's here. It's Times Orphan.
There are so many.
It's Times Orphan. Let me grab it for you here, folks. I thought I used my little sticky tabs correctly, but apparently I didn't. Just wait 2 seconds. I'm sorry, everyone. Do you need music?
No, there are just so many F's.
Yeah, I mean, it's all F's and C pluses and D's for me here.
Well, yeah, usually when I have my least favorite characters, sometimes there's C's in there because I rate things so highly. But not in this case. There are plenty
I found it. Here it is. Here it is, you little sicko. Yeah, here, Times Orphan, Season 6, Episode 24. Keiko is back just to tell Miles that he's fat. Then we have a picnic by a cave with a time portal. Lisai. Golana is a picnic place. Unlikely that it isn't uninhabited or isn't used for picnics. This is a Class M planet near DS9. And we have long-standing spacefaring species living around Golana. So it doesn't make sense. Jadzia says Worf isn't good with babies, but in other episodes, the O'Brien baby can only be comforted by Worf or Miles, and obviously Worf also is a father, even has an adopted kid. Worf tries to be kind, and Jadzia is a complete jerk. I never understood this aspect of their relationship, but humiliating your husband and deeply hurting him and making him feel inadequate is just strange. I don't enjoy it. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with sex. It just has something to do with decency. Try to be a decent person. Molly was born in 2368. Right now, it is 2374. Molly is 6 years old, not 8. Memory Alpha says she's 8 years old, which is incorrect. Stop following Memory Alpha. Stop getting your trivia from IMDb. Stop going to Wikipedia for your facts. It's crap. 5 to 12 is considered late childhood, according to a psychologist. And psychology, documented psychology. You're welcome to look that up. It is the 4th stage before adolescence. So Molly wouldn't have an early childhood mind. So the mind of a 1 to a 3-year-old where she's merely grunting. She wouldn't have a toddler's mind or toddler's behaviors and language. This makes the whole episode weird and unbelievable. Moreover, studies suggest that by Molly's exact age, 6 years old, children's personalities are set for life. So their experiences up to that point define who they are. Not only is this a warning to parents to make sure that you're really nice to your kids until they're 6 years old and that you give them lots of nice development, but it makes the episode even more preposterous. And the Worf B story is awful. Honorable mentions. I thought that Sons and Daughters sucked. Sucked large and hard on something grody. Also because Resurrection sucked. And Tears of the Prophets also sucked. And that will do it for me. A season of F's, a season of suck.
Hey, Dalek 451, welcome. That was the greatest. Oh, you killed me when you do that. It's so much fun. I almost wish every episode was garbage. Well, we got our wishes in season 6 mostly, didn't we? Oh, that was fantastic. So
love you, Captain.
I might clip that and just make a video of it. Oh, Jesus.
Well, you should. It's good to have short videos.
Oh, shit. Jill. Be nice, Jill, to these episodes.
Oh, my God.
Just kidding.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Raquel said most of them. But there are a few more. I didn't like Honor Among Thieves either. I thought Bilby and Meanie did a good job in their performances, but
hey, Katie.
Katie! Oh, hi, Katie.
Yeah. So sorry, continue.
This story is only achieved because Starfleet is made to behave unlike Starfleet. I have no idea how you guys reviewed this one because I had to leave for this show. But
which one?
I know
Honor Among Thieves?
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't like it much.
I know they had right. I know I had to go anyway, I knew that they had to go after the criminals to save the Klingon ambassador. But my problem is that they didn't even ask any questions or worry about the implications of or consequences of the violence they were about to commit on this planet. It was as if they were just saying, well, these guys are thieves and criminals and everything, so they just deserve to die with no due process, no trial. Starfleet's now judge, jury, executioner. And that's something that I've noticed that is a trend today with the people who carry the label. And just watching TOS shows you how it's supposed to be done. When something like this happens in Star Trek, Kirk will say something like, I want a third alternative. And with that element missing, the only good thing we get from this episode is Chester.
Yeah, Chester, that's right.
But that's a cat that we later learn in another bad episode that Keiko hates, which is another episode that Raquel already covered. What was that? Time's Orphan, definitely not a good one.
Right. Yep.
The only thing is you have received, I'm sorry to interrupt, I beg your pardon, please forgive me, I'm so sorry, but boss, you have received a gift from Cardi.
Thank you, Cardi. He said, you're too kind, buddy. I appreciate that. He says, wow, Clobby, have you stopped to think what a lucky man you are? But to have two beautiful, intelligent women or ladies, almost talking the reins off your show. I don't know. And did you ever think this was going to happen? No. Yeah, I mean,
I consider myself lucky. I consider myself very lucky.
I do too. I'm
my friend in real life.
I'm lucky that Clobby provides the channel for us to be able to discuss this cool stuff.
Well, you both cut it out. I'm ordering you not to compliment me anymore. Both of you will be spent time in the agony booth.
Not the agony booth.
Thank you, Cardinal Sandy. You're too kind, buddy. But yeah, I'm the lucky one here. Absolutely.
I have to find my organizer. I think I lost it.
Now that's just cheap, Jill. But I'll allow it. I gotta find it, but
Your agonizer, please.
There it is.
I didn't have that closer. But thank you, Cardi. You're too kind, and thank you both, ladies. I have the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. She makes the show. The show could not ever happen without her. We have lots of wonderful friends here, and we also.
Yeah, it is totally true.
And we got a great crew. It wouldn't be the same, it don't happen without Raquel, as far as I'm concerned, folks. Everybody. But we also love our crew members. We got the greatest chief engineer in the fleet, and we got an amazing communications officer who joins us for the parties and stuff. So now however, our chief engineer and our chiefs of security couldn't make it tonight, and I don't know. It's never the same without them. Just kidding. Who need you guys? I got ladies here.
No, I absolutely agree. Mark brings the spreadsheets, and I really enjoy his insights, and I like how he talks about how much money the series made in terms of what successful the show was.
Spreadsheet nerd.
Well, I was really kind of hoping he would be here tonight too, because there are two sources that are unverified that are out on the internet that say that DS9 is has performed the worst in syndication out of all the iterations of Star Trek.
Really?
So he's not here, but I was kind of hoping he would dig around with me and we could investigate that together. But we'll do that another time. But maybe we'll do that on the season 7 wrap up.
You were in much better company, says that's for sure, Mr. Spreadsheeter.
No, we love you, Mark. But that's something that I would like to discuss at a later date.
Oh, yeah,
and I hope the 735ers won't let me forget that. But that has been put out there, and it requires a citation. I'd like to explore that citation. I'd like to explore the Nielsen ratings, and I'd like to see how DS9 did in syndication, because according to unverified sources, that it's not done very well. So people watched some of it on TV. They think it's the bestest ever, and then they actually didn't watch it.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow. There you go. Well, Mark, what is that? He sent a spreadsheet. Something.
Yeah, he sent the spreadsheet, and I've shared it in case whenever you want to share it.
Oh, okay.
But I do have a couple more episodes.
Okay, yeah, go for that. We got Katie. Don't worry, we got your reviews. We'll definitely read those in a second. And you too, Captain Skywalker. But go ahead, Joe. I see it now. Thanks.
But Raquel actually said the rest of mine. I also put Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night. It felt like it was definitely a episode about Stockholm syndrome, and it was just Kira not behaving as the second officer of a Starfleet captain. She was, I don't know, first officer rather. She's Cisco's first officer, liaison officer, but she behaves instead as if she actually had been the Kira that was back in time, rather than the Kira who has grown from this series. And that was just, it was all convoluted, unreal to me.
Yeah, I got you.
And my least favorite is, of course, Inquisition, because it's possibly the worst thing that could have been done back then for Star Trek, because it infected not just Deep Space Nine, but all of Star Trek, since they made it go all the way back to Enterprise.
Right.
Yes, good point.
So bad.
A very, very good point.
When your suck lasts so long and so hard that it affects others, really.
Yeah. Ooh, boy, that's bad. Let's see here. Well, I've got a. Those all you have there, Jill? Because I'll go real quick.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure there are more, but those were just the five I had.
I understand.
I'm sure there are more. I got plenty here, she says. Right on, Jill.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right. Okay. Well, we all have the same ones. Time's Orphan I can't even, for the weirdest of reasons, just what a horrible parents they must be. The O'Briens are in that episode. Wrong's Darker and Dumber Than the Dumbest Shite Ever is probably one of the worst episodes I've ever seen of anything ever. It's the worst thing called Star Trek. One of the worst. I'm with you on Inquisition. You probably named a couple other ones that I'm already forgetting about, because I look at the list and I'm like, man, it's tough to pick. But Prophet and Lace is one I hate.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you make an episode like this? It's no Prophet, an idiot. It's stupid. I'm embarrassed to have been in this episode. Quark, I hate it. I hate you. And I hate everyone who wrote this episode. Yeah.
That episode was a really complete missed opportunity, because it could have been an amazing question on Ferengi society. And instead we get a superficial lesson that where Quark just goes back to the way he was, even though he should have learned something, but he didn't.
No, I got you. I hear you. So I guess basically what we've learned is it's tough to choose the worst. Well, no, there's standouts, but to me they're just all almost, there's so many of them that we gave low ratings to.
Right. I did have another one on my list, which was Resurrection, but I completely forgot what it was about.
Resurrection. I don't even know what that was about. Do anyone remember that one?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Resurrection's
also on mine. Hold on. I'll get me notes.
Oh yeah. The alternate universe one with what's his. Yeah, that one didn't really.
That was on my list as well. Yeah,
but it was just.
I gave an F. Resurrection. No. How did he beam into ops? How did he get beam into ops? Horrible acting, stupid story. I don't care. Who is this for? Thought Kira rekindled her Odo romance in a closet, making goo eyes, but they're arguing in this episode again, right? All she wants is to be alone, huh? Now they're bumping uglies and rubbing noses. So weird.
Right, and
boat barf.
I agree. Yeah, and how did the entire bridge? Well, everybody in ops, rather, not the bridge, just don't care that somebody's abducting one of their crew.
Yeah, and from one parallel universe to another with zero effort. And they even make fun of organized religion and religious people here, and I'm agnostic, okay, but I don't go for that. I'm like Gene Roddenberry. I don't think that it's right to mock religious people. I'm not into that, and Gene Roddenberry wasn't into it either, and he used to fight with Michael Piller about that, so it's not good. And there's Kira knocks somebody out with one punch, and then I was like, no way she knocked him out.
And also nobody notifies the Federation, and nobody notifies Starfleet.
Oh, sorry.
And then I wrote underneath, I can't even grade this SHIT F. So good choice, Jill.
Yep, no, good choice. All this is a like a synopsis of just like a spreadsheet of the shows we've done.
Oh yeah, I don't see the grades here.
No, this has nothing to do with any of that. You may have sent the wrong one, Mark. I looked at this earlier. It's just it shows some of the shows I did from like the early days that were called Star Trek. It must be something else. He probably sent the wrong one.
This does look.
Don't sweat it.
Different. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
No, no. That's I noticed that because I looked at it earlier. What'd you say? Number one.
Boss, you got. What's wrong with me? You have 11 starred items in your manager's tab. Would you kindly go over, Captain, and have a look at that at your leisure?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, so I was just on the wrong one. Let me share it again.
Oh, okay, Katie. Thank you so much, Katie. You're too kind. Thank you for that.
Okay, I see what's
going on. Can I be astromedics officer? You are hereby appointed to astromedics officer Katie Dax, with given the rank of lieutenant on the Starship Clobby Prize.
Yay!
And
I'm putting your pips on now, honey.
Yeah, and I apologize for saying Clobby Prize. What you got there?
I'd be honored to get a Clobby Prize.
You're already on the ship. You're a lieutenant. But I can't really read this. What are we looking at here?
Okay, so now this is it.
This is my. Oh, okay. I can't.
These are our aggregated season scores.
Okay, but there's more.
I can't really see it that well. But so what do we got here?
Well, let me put it in order of Mark's list here.
Yeah, Mark has the best and worst list. But also he sent them to me. He sent his to me, so we don't really need the spreadsheet this week.
Oh,
he sent them. Okay. Sent them in a. Unless you just want to look at it, but you're good.
Okay.
Because he sent me his in a start. I got to start a message of him because I can't even see that thing.
No, your arms aren't long enough for your eyes.
Let me see.
That's okay. My arms aren't long enough.
I don't think anyone can see that either. I'm looking at it on the YouTube and they can't see it.
No, it's ridiculous.
So we'll just read
I think I messed it up anyway.
No, you did fine.
No, I know it's view only, so I can't actually mess it up. So it's all right.
Oh, okay. Well, and even if you did, just blame Mark. We did.
Yeah, it's in his contract.
Yep. Thank you so much, Katie. Now we got some reviews and stuff. First of all, Captain James C. Scott Walker got this review in way after we'd already ended, but but still, this was the episode. What was it? The Rears of the Prophet. So he gave it a D. Sorry to jump ahead, but I hate that they did not honor Dax in the flashbacks in the final episode. Inconceivable, and Ducat never needed the Wraiths to be evil. Okay,
that's right.
Thank you. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, little Zeki.
Yeah, little Zeki. Okay, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so now we have anyone. He sent me something. Hang on, let me check what Marcus sent me. Thank you, Mark. Man, dude, where you at, bud? He says, Princess Fiona it came on as a member. Yes, right. Thank you for joining, Princess Fiona. Appreciate it. And she gifted 1 Clobbering Times memberships. I think that's what it means. That's what he said. Thank you, Princess.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You yes, indeed. Okay, let's see here. So what we got? Now we have Steve. Kal-El said his top 5 episodes. And anyone wants to put any bottom 5ers, please feel free. Sacrifice of Angels, Inquisition, The Magnificent Ferengi, In the Pale Moonlight, and Far Beyond the Stars. Thank you, Kal-El. JT Kirk says his best. Honor Among Thieves. Colomini Gets to Act. Waltz. Mark Lamo stars as DC's Two-Face.
JT Kirk.
That was 3. That was 2. Number 1, In the Pale Moonlight. This one's not a fake. Marco D with the CC says his top 5 statistical probabilities. Yeah. 1 Little Ship, In the Pale Moonlight. They were all mine too. Magnificent Ferengi, and The Sound of Her Voice.
What?
Wow. He did. I wonder if he heard you at the beginning of the show, killing me with laughter about that one.
Listen, Mark, Everybody in the chat, please put Mark through the Klingon rite of ascension. Just do it. Give him the probes.
Mark gives this episode a 4.
Eric, yeah, he does. He does. Mark, Eric K. Thank you, buddy, for helping out, man. I hope you're feeling all right, man. Princess Fiona, member 1 month, gifted 1 Clobbering Times membership. Katie was gifted a membership by Princess Fiona. All right. Fantastic. Love it. Thank you so much, Fiona. And thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, we love
Anybody
you,
else has any worst episodes, let us know. Now, Katie had some reviews from earlier that we wanted to get there for her. Tears of the Prophets, and thus concludes the end of a beautiful character, given that the doom was apparent. This way of killing her was acceptable, but never given justice. Knowing that Terry was going to leave the show, I understand Rick and the writers did not have any choices, but I found it so hard for Worf to gain his footing after her demise. Let's see here. To me, Worf and Dax were the highlight of season 6. After the tragic end of Zial, they and Quark kept the levity, which was going by the wayside for the war. Once Dax died, that levity was gone.
I got you, Lisa. Don't worry about it. And please welcome Bruce from Dick's Division.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, Lombardo? Hello,
and everyone,
Hello,
please say goodnight to Zathras. He has to go. He said night all. Zathras out.
Good night, Zathras.
Be good, buddy. B5 is better always. Good to see you, Bruce. Thanks for being here, buddy. He said Jadzia was beautiful, vibrant, smart, and a wonderful ambiance that the show never regained. There was no character like her again. Episode gets a solid B. R.I.P. from Katie. Thank you so much, Katie. Let's see here. Lisa said my reviews is like a baseline AKG, all Fs, except for the occasional blip of a life. With 26 episodes, this patient DS9 needs the paddles. Clear zap. Nope. I fear we lost this patient. R.I.P. DS9 season 6. Wowzer.
Actually, love you, Lisa.
You know what? Even though I can see from Mark's spreadsheet that Deep Space Nine does go down significantly in viewership from each season. Season 1 gets overall 11 million. Season 2 gets almost 9. Season 3 gets almost 8. 4 almost 7. 5 almost 6. And then by the time we get to this season 6, we get almost 5 million views.
Oh, wow.
Overall.
Going down. Managed to
cut in half
Good
since
Lord.
the beginning.
Holy crap, yeah. Mark D with a C. His 5 worst. Times Orphan, Resurrection, Wrongs Darker Than Doo-Doo, Inquisition, and Profit and Loss. Didn't he have...
Doo-Doo?
Yeah. And then what he said. Average ratings, Mark... let's see. Mark 1.95, Clobby 0.79, Raquel 0.89. Ouch. I love it. I love that he had that. Hey, Michael Beacom popped in. Hey, man.
Hey.
I read your reviews, buddy.
Oh, he's listening on the drive home as per usual. Michael, you better lean over and give Cassandra a kiss on the cheek for me and tell her that everyone, all the 735ers say hello.
Indeedishness. Well, do we have anybody else chiming in on bad? Let's see.
I think that's all.
I think JT
that's all anybody wanted to say, boss. I think
had
that's
one.
it.
Did ED didn't do any good or bad, but that's okay. Some people didn't. I'm just making sure I don't want to miss it. Just don't want anybody to miss anything.
I didn't see any more, boss.
Did we want to?
JT Kirk?
I can just refer. Yeah. I think he did one, yeah.
The Starship, right?
He said, worst, Change of Heart, The Ruination of Worf.
Yep.
One little ship, Honey, I Shrunk the Starship. And one, Times Off and Keiko wasn't banished on the picnic planet. There you go.
JT
Kirk. I just don't want to miss anybody, so in case anybody else had a hey, Cassandra.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi, Cassandra.
Good to see you. So didn't want to miss anybody. in case had any more. Don't look like we have any more.
No, I've been
goods or bads here.
Sorting through, boss. I haven't seen.
That's cool. Hello, Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Yes. All righty. Well, cool.
Do we want to rate the season?
Oh yeah,
overall?
the season. That's right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got communications and first officers for to remind me of good and important stuff. So, number one, the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Commander. What is your rating of Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 6 as a season?
I gave it a D-. I think that if I were to calculate it as if it were one of my students, I think it would actually, the raw score would probably come out as an F. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a D-. I think this is awful. It's really hard to deal with. And I really feel like this is the birthplace of the filth. Because, and I don't even blame that on Voyager. I think it squarely rests on DS9, Section 31, this idea that Gene's writing and Gene's ideas were silly and that nobody wanted to watch that. They wanted something grittier, that it was unrealistic, and all of these idiotic nincompoop things come from this. And when we look at the surveys and we look at the polls and we look at people who have even researched it, folks openly saying that they like DS9 because it is the least Star Trek of all the Star Trek, and that they find it very accessible and non-sciencey, and normies can just tune into it whenever they want. That's why they like it. That's why they like it. This is the womb of the filth. So imagine that you're pregnant, but instead of having a baby, you're just going to birth poo. And that's all I have to say about it.
By the way, the two episodes tonight, our statistician needs to know your ratings on the two episodes tonight. Again, what was mine were C- and F, and yours were what?
Oh, weren't both mine F? I think one was D- and one was F.
D- and F. That's what I was making sure. Because our engineer needed to know he's calculating the ratio again. So.
Matt Bird's here, boss.
Who?
Matt Bird. Parker Luck. What's that? Matt Bird.
Oh, okay. Parker.
Matt Bird?
Oh, yeah. Hello there. Parker. Peter Parker. Parker Luck. What's that, Matt Bird? What a title. I like it. Good to see you, Parker. Mind if I just call you Parker for short? There's no offense, of course.
But is there really any such thing as F- and F+? I think, isn't it just that if you have an F, you got an F?
Yeah, no, that's just for emphasis for effect. But anyway, ED said Inquisition is the worst Star Trek episode up to this point in the franchise's history. It is a travesty, and the filth can be traced back to it. Good point, ED.
It is.
Kal-El said, bottom 5 episodes of the season: The Sound of Her Voice, Tears of the Prophets, Time's Orphan, You Are Cordially Invited, and His Way. That's for Stephen Kal-El. Thank you, buddy. I think let's see, before we get some more season ratings, Jill, what is yours for the season?
For the season, I give it a C-, and that's actually very low for me. I'm always disappointed myself to receive that grade, so it's pretty serious for me.
Low.
It is a low one because I'm overly generous with Star Trek in general, and I did rate some of these episodes higher. So, sure. and the ones that I love, I really do, but I don't think I've ever given this many Fs before. It'd be interesting for me to go back and see.
You have to go count them up, yeah.
Because a lot of the times,
me either. Yeah.
A lot of the times, my bottom 5 episodes include some Ds or some Cs because of how generous I am. And so
no, I hear you. I'm D-, and it's just there's nothing. There's very little to recommend this season, and so that's that. And Lisa gives us an F. I think she means for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. That's very consistent with what she's been rating them for sure.
I love Lisa.
Love you, Lisa. Mr. Angel says it was a weird season, some extreme heights and some very, very lows. Rating it overall impossible for me, unless since I work only from memory. But overall, yeah, not the best season. I got you. I hear you there.
I like the
Chef.
emoji.
I'll be right
with his
back.
Mouth zipped closed. That's pretty cute, Chef.
Yes, indeed, Chef. I hear you. Simply she says F for season sucks or S3X, depending on which couple you were disgusted with more on deep shit grind.
Simply Steve, I love you.
Oh dear,
So
oh dear. Raquel, what if I birth poop, but it feels like I'm having a baby?
I am Kirok.
Yikes! Matt, Jesus, no F plus, no. I guess you can make an F plus. Look, there's no law against it, buddy. If you want, I say, as the kids say, you do you, Powder.
That's true. Some people have Z's.
Yes. Linrod says, it is sufficient. It is sufficiently dumbed down for the normies. Darn wretched normies and dentists.
Love you. I love
Yes.
that. Love that. Wretched
Super
normies.
F, indeed, sir. It's super F minus. There you go. Matt G also says, but F plus means you tried. Well, does it though? Does it though?
It means you put your name on the paper.
Fair enough. Updated average 1.950. I guess that's you, number one, I guess. Because it's got to be, I don't know, 800 and then 81 for him, I guess. Maybe I'm 800.
I think it's 1.95
Oh, no, that's for him.
for Mark, 0.80 for you, and 0.81 for me.
That's right.
It looks confusing.
Yeah.
No, you
Thank
got it
your
right,
word for it.
Raquel. That's exactly what the spreadsheet says.
Weird. Mark is weird. Mark's weird tonight. He's out on a
Can you
special
do the
mission.
Johnny Carson? Weird. Wow.
That is weird, wild stuff. With apologies to Manny's Daddy. Mark is on location. He's not here tonight. He is a fill-in, and Doc Severinson could not be here tonight, so and neither could Mark. We hope he will be back next week. Eddie and I will just have to get on by without him. No lazy bastard. Stephen Kellel says overall rating of the season C minus. And once again, I'm being generous. Yeah, hey, it's like Jill because she's generous too. There were just enough decent episodes to have the season avoid a lower grade. Well, that's understandable, sir.
Yeah, and Deep Space Nine is a science fantasy drama, and
Yes.
that's how I rate it.
And a soap opera. Mark D. Well, let me do this one first because he's the chief engineer with it. JT Kirk, 3 Spock's brains out of 10, as the pale moonlight was in season 6. Without that, 1.5 Spock's brains out of 10. Yowzerishness. Oh man,
Love it.
And the great Tamara D with it. She says D plus. Wow. Mostly for cool space battles and special effects, and a scarce few good episodes. This season was a disaster. No wonder I stopped watching DS9 when it was airing back in the day. Yep.
Apparently, half the audience did.
Yes, but what's more important is that, okay, so we know that. But what I want to dig into is something a little bit of a, let's go for a deep dive here, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to know if it is true that people don't rewatch it, and that the rewatch numbers are catastrophic compared to TNG and TOS. And I think that the younger generation, this is just purely speculation, that the younger generation nurses Voyager and they really love it. So they're the caretakers of that. So we're talking about the Katie Carrs out there who grew up on Voyager. They love it. And so they take care of it. They nurture it. They rewatch it. But it is well established the syndication was incredible for TOS. It was mind-blowingly good. It still is. And TNG performed very well in rewatches. But I want evidence to this assertion that DS9 people don't rewatch it and don't like rewatching it. I want proof of that, and Mark and I, we're going to work on that together. We're going to go find that out.
I don't have any data or anything, but anecdotally, every time in the past when I've tried to rewatch Deep Space Nine, I drop off somewhere in season 4, and I've never really considered that as a thing until.
Hey, Brandon, the anime guy. Welcome to see you there, buddy. Yeah, you come in. We're just finishing up our view of season 6. We finished season 6 of Deep Space Nine. You know, it's interesting to say that, Jill. Now that looking back on it, because where we are now, because again, I've always spoke well of the show and have liked it. Now that we're chopping these down.
I have a show with Raymond about Deep Space Nine.
Well, I understand that. Yeah, and absolutely. What I'm saying is, we chop these down individually now, and I'm being honest. I can't lie and say I really love this show. If I can't, I got to tell the truth. And I used to like it a lot more way back then, but since we started reviewing this, I liked the earlier seasons better. Because yes, there were looming things about the war, and even then still had some of the stuff about the freaking Bajoran religion crap and all the soap opera garbage and the political stuff. But there were still more in the earlier seasons. There were more honest attempts to do science fiction, Star Trek like stories than there are now.
Yes,
just the way it is.
Yeah, I wanted more episodes like Explorer.
And I'm getting my way
exactly
by exploring this in chronological order in a linear fashion. Back when Clobby and I first talked, when we first spoke about making this show, one of the things that was really, really important in our conversation was the defense of Ent. And you receive such ridiculous backlash when you say you love Ent, and that Ent tries very hard to be like TOS, and you see this return to TOS. Yeah. And the first thing people say is, oh, I'm a big DS9er. I just love DS9. DS9 is great. But when you watch it, so when exploring it in this way, it reveals why I believe, why I feel the way that I feel about DS9. And I think that it creates a good form of rhetoric to draw people nearer to Ent and give Ent a chance, because, the quality of Star Trek is centrifugal until you get to Ent, and then all of a sudden you see this beautiful return to TOS. And so I hope people will put all of this vitriol they see on social media about how DS9 is the best Star Trek ever, and see who's saying that and why.
I think it's because Enterprise struggles a bit with characterization when it succeeds in terms of actually wanting to explore and do things.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to talk about that until I know we talk about it in when we explore Ent. However, I will say this, that my master plan to show people that DS9 is weak, despite Ronald D. Moore's assertions that he made Star Trek better by quote unquote making it dark and realistic, that he failed epically, and that the people who say they like DS9 are not quite the kind of Trekkies that you would think they are, by and large. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule. Don't send me any private messages or DMs. I don't care. I know there are exceptions to every rule. You know what I mean? There are people born with an 11th toe. I don't want to hear about it. However, I'm just saying that by and large, DS9 is not the best Star Trek, and it actually has an incredible level of suck.
Well, there you go. And look, all I can tell you, Brandon, is there are a lot of people who we all have varying views on this show. There are plenty, like, an episode will come out and 10 of us will hate it and 10 of us will like it. That's the way it goes sometimes. And but this season seems to, even some of the most positive people about this show, liking episodes that Raquel and I don't like sometimes, have even admitted that they don't really like this season. But it's cool. Whoever likes the season's fine, or any other season for that matter. But so all opinions are welcome here, so it doesn't matter, what anyone has to say. They're all welcome. It's just
absolutely the value is in the diversity of thought that we have here.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I think you said, because one of the things you were saying, number one, was didn't you see some kind of poll, or I don't know how many polls?
Yeah.
Where it says that the Deep Space Nine is the most unpopular of the Trek shows, and the people who give reasons why, they're all because it's the least Trek like. I mean,
yes, that is a fact.
where'd
So
you see that at?
there are scholars, and the studies are posted on Medium, but there are scholars, one scholar in particular, who used various types of survey instruments to establish accuracy in polling the public and surveying the public on the when and why and how of DS9, and discovered that by and large, the study revealed that DS9 is the most popular. And in follow-up information and in polls and in surveys, the reason that folks cite is that it is the most un-Star Trek. So they find it very accessible, and that it is the least scientific. So they don't feel repelled by it. They don't have to think. It's more of a drama thing.
True.
And so, yeah, that's not speculation. That's out there. I mean, all you have to do is do a random Google search, and it will have a very high yield for you. But what you're saying, Captain, is absolutely true. People on social media pretend or forward the idea that DS9 is the most popular Star Trek, and that is verified through scholarly study and scholarly evidence. And the reasons for it are because it is the least Star Trek. But there are people who are asserting, and it needs to be verified through evidence, that they are also the least likely to participate in Star Trek. So they didn't watch all of DS9, and they're not watching it on rewatch. So it fails to hold the viewer like TOS and TNG did. And obviously now with the kids who love Voyager, who are continuing to rewatch Voyager over and over and over again. So there's a disconnect between what people are saying online and the reality of the DS9 fandom. And that is supported by scholarly evidence. That's not conjecture. That's not anecdotal.
Yeah, again, I don't have the data, just the anecdote, but I have heard from people who cite DS9 who as something that they enjoy because they essentially hate Gene Roddenberry, and I don't like hearing it, but I do listen to people's opinions about things, and generally, these are also fans of the film.
Yeah, that would be a lot. By the way, our buddy Brandon, the anime guy, says he says season 6, grade B. He says the only app he skips is B. The only one app that he skips. The best episode of DS9 in this season, war episodes, Ferengi, Morn, Sound of Her Voice, and Tears of the Prophets. Solid B for me, no problem. Boy, I hated both of those two last ones you mentioned. Well, I hated Tears of the Prophets. Sound of Her Voice, I didn't hate that too much, but I hear you. Solid B for me, no problem. Well, thank you, Brandon. Like I said, everyone gets to say, and we appreciate you on there. What's it?
And when people are speaking positively about Deep Space Nine, it is definitely just the Dominion War stuff. They like the war things, and I do understand that a lot of why it succeeds is because they ignore a lot of the Federation.
Yeah. Michael Beacom says, by the way, Raquel, Cassandra got a laugh when you told me to give her a kiss because my son was riding shotgun. She was in the back seat, but I was willing to try.
Oh, you guys are the cutest family ever. I love the Beacums. And thank you for tuning into us all the time, especially in the car. You are a fabulous family. Thank you for your support and your friendship and your participation. Long live Hail the Beacums.
Yeah, that was so cool. He sent in his reviews for us to hear.
Always. We appreciate the Beacums with everyone else, by the way. So, yeah. Well, let's see. The thing about DS9 says, Mr. Angel, is that there is a lot of love in it and a lot to love in it, a lot to hate. I am a few episodes in, even I'm a few episodes. It even ascended into greatness. I think it means a few. Okay. Overall, I give the show a double thumbs up. It deepens the lore overall well. Got you there, buddy. Bruce says, Anti-Derivative Jill, the Dominion War aspects of DS9 are the reason why I watched it so much. I need to do a whole series rewatch, but yeah, I found more interesting content here than TNG. Yeah, a lot of people like the war stuff, and I mean, it is it's fascinating to have a space war show for sure. I think B5 did it better. The show it ripped off, but that's just me. In deference to Zathras, who isn't even here. I have a non-Star Trek question. Do you review anime series at all? Says Parker Luck. I'm afraid I don't know. We got the greatest anime guy around here, Brandon, the anime guy. By the way, has a channel. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Parker, but there's a man that knows his anime and reviews it. I'm afraid I don't know much about it. It's not my speed. It's not just something I know of. I'm an old fool, but I don't. But I do appreciate the question and appreciate you being here. And like I said, if you're familiar with if you're not familiar with Mr. Brandon, the anime guy, I would suggest you check his channel out. If anyone can get his channel in there, in the
already
chat,
done.
You did? Okay, good. Mr. Brandon, the anime guy, a friend of ours channel here, and he has a great channel for that sort of thing. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Well done. Fiona says DS9 would have been better if it had stayed a Kardashian station. It was even run by Bajorans. The Federation could have stayed in character and been the co-stars of the Shed.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, Michael, that's a great
And
idea.
you got a gift.
Thank you so much, Michael. You're too kind. But he says, season 6. The only thing I can say is no matter the script, I cannot point at any of the cast regulars and say they gave a poor performance, phoned it in, which is more than even TNG. Although the actors are great.
Mm-hmm.
They're always, look, top notch. It's not, they do what they're told to do.
Incredible. Yeah, I tried to say hi to Rene Aubergenois at the convention, but he was busy, or he was being rushed
Busy
away.
man.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. He was great. So
he was an incredible performer.
Again, they just could have replicated Ketracel White and taken over the Jemadar, and Dominion War would have lasted 2 episodes.
but this is why I love Princess Fiona, and I'm so happy that she joined us here, because it's really difficult to have these conversations unless someone like Princess Fiona is around. It's usually just Clobby and I saying that kind of stuff, but Princess Fiona is right. Like it is the assertion that everyone should be making. And, I'm not admonishing anyone, but they have to shrink the universe to make their universe make sense. But at the same time, the people who are writing it are saying that Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek was unrealistic. No, what's unrealistic is writing an intergalactic war that involves over 100 planets and only having 3 species show up. So I agree with Fiona. They constantly have to shrink the storytelling, shrink the universe, shrink the thinking, treat the viewer like they're an idiot, and that's the only way that the story works. And that's not the way Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek should be. He fought to have intelligent TV for viewers who he said were being infantilized and treated like they were idiots, when he felt that the American public was intelligent and wanted to be edified and wanted to watch something intelligent on TV. So all hail Princess Fiona. I agree.
Oh, absolutely. DJ Ronnie G, hey there. What's up, Papa? Well, I think we can get out early tonight because we've handled season 6 and we've earned some.
Let's do it
there. So our chief engineer had to run because he's now on a mission out there, and we appreciate his help. I don't know if he's still hearing us, but hearing us, buddy, thank you for all your help, and I'm glad we got to see you a little bit. Can't wait to see you again. And hope good luck to you, and congrats, of course, to your young in there and to the family.
Mm-hmm.
And hope to see you again soon, buddy. Always miss it. We always miss the great Mark D with us here, chief engineer. So, let's see. Up in here, I want to thank Jill for coming and hanging out with us, our communications officer. Oh,
another gift.
Jill. We got Cardi. Thank you, Cardi, for that. You're too kind, buddy. I appreciate that. He says, Clobby, I am in awe of the community we've built here, thanks to you and Mark and Raquel and Jill and everybody in the audience. It's a testament to your great work, my friend. Keep it up. Oh, I didn't do anything, buddy, but I thank you for that. We all do it. We all work together and we to make something special. But you're right, it is a great community. I've always said this, the coolest, nicest chat there is, not just Saturday Night Star Trek, but my other 4 shows a week. And many of us, of course, go to some of our other channels, Jill's and yours, Phil, Gil and everybody else's. And we all go to a lot of, we all, watch each other's channels and different stuff like that. And it's
this channel is special because before watching Clobbering Times, I was just listening to YouTube while I was doing chores. And it was this channel that got me excited to participate.
Boss man.
Well, thank you for that. I see it. I say thank you for that so much, Jill. You were too kind. But it's all of us, though. We're a team here. But enigmatic drop bear. Oh, you're too kind, buddy. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Edie. He says, thank you, Clobby and Raquel, for building this wonderful community. At the end of each season, I usually say onwards and upwards, but for me, DS9 has not been living up to that promise. Hope springs eternal. Yeah, you never know. You might like the next season better.
I like that Raquel said that the younger generation sort of enjoys Voyager a little more than normal, because I do realize some of the science in Voyager is a bit ridiculous, but anytime I put on an episode, I just feel good. so let's see what happens there.
Who knows?
That'll be fun for me.
Yeah. Look, I'm one of those weirdos that loves Enterprise, even though nothing touches the original series for me. But that's the one that makes me feel closest to me watching the original series.
You're damn right.
And even though I have some issues with some of the things they did in the 3rd season, there's some great ones in that one as well. I'm one of those weirdos that like the first 2 seasons. And I say weirdos because it's always been treated like the redheaded stepchild of Star Trek and mistreated, in my opinion. Yes. I love Enterprise. I love the characters. And I don't know. It just feels
some of the best is in there.
Yeah, I mean, some great stories, some great episodes. Yes. I mean, I just went back and binged it again just a few months ago. Now I want to watch it again. So, but a lot of people, I get that not everyone loves it, but hey, a lot of people do. I'm glad more people do. I'm glad we're seeing more people either coming to it and saying, yeah, it's better than I thought it was, or always loved it. Because I'm one that loved it from get-go, and I didn't even want to watch it the night it came on, and I just did. So, again, thank you, ED. Enigmatic Drop Bear, you're too kind, buddy. Appreciate it.
I just want to say to Enigmatic Drop Bear, Clobby and I appreciate you so much. And we just want to say thank you to you for just being so open-hearted and for being so cerebral and such a great conversationalist and such a great reviewer.
Yes.
I mean, you put a lot of work into your reviews. You sit down and you make notes, and that's important, because it's people like you that make this community great. And the reason being is this, and there are many of you out there that are doing this. It's almost like you're turning it into a book club. You come prepared to talk about things and not just say, oh, I don't remember what happened in the episode, or I don't remember why I liked it. You come with evidence and you say, hey, I didn't like this line. Hey, I didn't like it when this happened. And, according to canon, or, hey, isn't this star date? And that really changes what we're doing here, because it makes it more academic for me, which I very much enjoy, because there's evidence there. There's in-text citation. There's source material, original source material there. But what you're doing is fortifying that by turning it into a book club. It's something that we can all workshop together and talk about, instead of just empty, I liked it. Okay, nice, whatever. So I just want to say thank you back to you for, first of all, supporting Clobby's channel. I love that you did that. That's amazing. But I have to thank you for being who you are in enhancing this channel, making it better, and just bringing your best conversations to a book club, for lack of a better way of describing what you're doing. I really appreciate it. I think you're wonderful, and I love your reviews. So hail to ED.
ED, drop there.
Absolutely agree.
Thank you so much. So what we're going to do now is, and by the way, I think I'm going to have a members chat Tuesday night around 8 p.m. Central.
Is this your second members chat?
Second, but I should have done a lot more. I should have finding the time to do it is just, wow.
Definitely, you're a busy guy.
The filth completely took away my will to live until I discovered you guys. I'm so grateful. Oh my goodness, you say such nice things. You all say such nice things. You just like me to blush, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll endeavor to never let you down. But I'm going to quote the great Christopher Reeve as Superman at the end of the greatest superhero movie of all, Superman the movie, when the warden steps out after he delivers, after he drops off Lex Luthor and says, "This country is safe again, Superman. Thanks to you." I said, "No, sir. Don't thank me, Warden. We're all part of the same team." God, he flies up. Oh, God, it drives me crazy. I love it. Anyway.
The best way to put the filth into context is to watch real Star Trek.
Yeah, or look into a toilet, but watching the Star Trek is more fun.
Or finger paint your own feces.
Oh, yeah, it gives me the willies when you say that.
Well, that's what the filth is.
Well, that is, yes, of course. Obviously, of course, it's that same, but don't. So
my son did that. I had to get rid of some blinds one time.
Wow. You had to encourage her, didn't you? You had to encourage her, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Before we get out of here, Jill, anything you got going on? You want to say before we get going?
No, not too much. I'm just very happy you had me on, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about Star Trek every Saturday, whether it's in the chat or at the end of the season when I get to be at the party. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and put your link in the chat to your channel, so when we'll go over there. If they have not already, please go subscribe to Jill's channel. She talks Trek and other things.
And other things, yes.
And other things, for sure. Please go to their channel.
I definitely don't want to limit it to that, but I'm definitely going to figure out what else.
You talk some Trek. Understand? Sure. Got to get people to come in there and subscribe, though. So, number one, the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. I love you so much. You always make my week. And thank you for being here with me. Do you have any final words for us?
Well, you're too kind to me, honey. You know I love you. You are such an amazing person in this whole lonely, crazy, weird world. I'm so happy that I met you like 2 or 3 years now. It's just, I just adore you. Okay, I first I gotta say, hail to the chat. Tonight, you guys really brought your A game. What an amazing conversation. Yes. We had such great argumentation, such wonderful points being made, incredibly funny jokes. Of course, the pun professor himself, Scuba Pete, was here, and JT Kirk made it even worse. It was just, or better, however you want to play that.
JT makes it better.
Yeah, you guys are just outstanding. Just watching these conversations flying by, and they're all just so cherry. Lisa made probably one of the best comments I've ever seen on an episode since Clubby and I started doing this. I mean, if I sat here all night talking about each one of you, I could be here. Yeah, I could be here all night until the dawn. It's because you guys are great. Minimus is here.
Minimus is here.
Thank you for that. We're nothing without you. These conversations we have, we appreciate them so much. They're interesting. They're funny. They're cool. I love you guys. You guys are the greatest Trekkies ever. So thank you so much. I also want to thank the wrenches. Thank you to all of the people who don't get paid, and yet they're making show posters. They're promoting us. They're helping us with behind the scenes, with production, with, calling out people who are, contributing to the community and welcoming people into the community and doing all these wonderful things. They don't get paid to do that. And our wrenches, some of them work for some of the biggest channels on YouTube, and yet they come here and work for Clobby and I because they like it here. They care about all of you. They care about this community. And so these are outstanding human beings. To take time out of their schedule to do that, all hail the wrenches. Throw a wrench up in the chat just to say thanks to our marvelous wrenches. Thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to all of my Patreon subs. I have a new book coming out, and these people are helping to make sure that episodic classic science fiction doesn't die. Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, pew, pew, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric Kane Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C. Damn it, Mark. Jill.
It's me.
Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman Clan, and LT and his lovely wife and his pupperoni Lance. I also want to thank Jill for joining Clobby and I tonight. It is always a pleasure to have another voice on the panel talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And last but certainly not least, Clobby, thank you for this space. I had another lovely evening with you. You're one of my best friends in the whole world. I love you. Mwah.
I love you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Michael Beacon, for that super chat. It says, hail to the wrenches. Awesomeness incarnate. Indeed, sir. Hey there, Blunt Philly Reviews.
Yay!
Good to see you. Good to see you indeed. I'm glad you popped in. Let's see here. All right, well, I think I will just do some show notes and we will get a moving.
Rolling,
because we've been here all night.
Keep that clobby rolling. Rawhide.
Let's see. What? All right. I don't think the great Mark D with the C will be having Sunday Night Geekery this week. I think he's going to be taking that week that off. But if anything changes, we'll get it out there. I'm planning to. I'm hoping, and I'll put it out there on the community thing to hope it'll reach you all. Probably going to do a member stream at around 8 or so, 8:15 Tuesday night. But as far as that, on Monday night at 6 p.m. Central, I'll be with my good buddy J-Man and the great Sean, Decepticon, reviewing 3 more issues of in our ongoing quest to review all of the Legion of Superheroes comics appearances from 1958 to 1989. So we're going to be a while, and I'm looking forward to that. We do that 3 Mondays out of the month usually. And then Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm proud to welcome the great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic, who will be joining me to talk comics, comic shops, and whatever geekness. We're just going to talk plain old geek stuff as he enjoys to do as much as I do. And I just cannot thank Gary enough for agreeing to come on. I'm excited about it and honored to have this fine gentleman join my little channel for a bit to have a little conversation. So I can't wait, and I'm looking forward to that. And now we do our shout outs because you're important to us, and we like to acknowledge everyone for being here with us tonight. As Raquel has already made clear, we love you all, and you help us. You make this show. You all do, and we can't thank you enough. So, first again, the great Eric K. Good to see you pop in here, buddy. We love you, man. The Bronze Wrencher, dude. Get well soon. Feel better, buddy. Yeah, Sam. We'll just can't wait to see you.
Lovely. Love you. And thank you. It was so lovely that you stopped in, even though you're not feeling well. Just try and rest and get better soon. We love you. Get well soon. We just love you. Everyone, please throw an EK in the chat for Eric.
Indeed. And then, of course, there is the great Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrench of the North. Thank you for all you do, good buddy. Appreciate you, man. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron, my good buddy. Always great to have him. I don't know if he's here tonight, but it doesn't matter. He gets a shout out anyway, as does the great the Chief of Security, Lord Thoth. He's out with Lady Thoth. Happy anniversary, I do believe. Happy anniversary, my friends. Avon lives, and long live the Legion. LT, the great J-Man, my partner in crime on Earth B, fellow Legionnaire reviewer, and of course, Wrench Without Fear. Great channel, great guy, great friend of the show. I didn't see him here tonight. I hope he's okay. The great Hungry Boy. I heard from him earlier today. So
he was on my episode, my last review of the last Star Trek episode that I reviewed. Wolf in the Fold. He was very good on that. So I think he's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. He sent me something earlier. But anyway, Hungry Boy, shout out to you, the master of the Cluboni, the artist extraordinaire, and the painter of the cover of Science Fiction Tales by R.M. Briggs. The great Supreme Wrench, Super Wrench Kal-El, Maddie's Daddy, Revealer of Wrench Mjolnir, and of course, the fancy outsidey, rascally Wrench. And shout out to our own music meister, Max Redstone, master of the Limerick. And so here with us tonight, let's give them the shout outs now. Apollomies Winion was here. All right, Apollomy. And the pupper. Can't forget the pupper. Let's see. All right. Also, FKHC 2005 was here. And thank you so much. Let's see, where else? JT Kirk. Thank you. Dadman and the Dadman clans. Dave G. Sound. Joseph Dredd. Judge. Captain James T. Skywalker. Classic Comics. The lovely Princess Fiona. Thank you so much, Fiona, for being here. The great enigmatic drop bear. Thank you so much, ED. Southwest was here. Whether they're here or not, whether they're gone to bed or not, we always shout them out no matter what. Simply Steve. And I'll stop right here just to say thank you to all who lurkers, anyone who lurked, or if you watched later on a download or a rewatch, however you call it. Thank you so much. We cannot thank you enough. Please, and everyone, please like and subscribe if you have not already. Lovely Lisa. The wonderful Katie was here. Katie Dax. Katie, great to have you here. It's good to see you, Katie. Matt G. Bush Pan Down. Snail Messiah, my good friend. The Tetrarch of Apathy cares. The AI Show, Captain Infinity and Beyond, Claude Salling, Almighty Sports Show, my old buddy from the BTR days, and they call him Schoolboy Pete. Rod Thunderheart, Blunt Philly Reviews, Minimus was here, remember? Yep. Let's see here. King Dolphin TV, shout out to Raymond in color. Mr. Angel, Chef, Brian Hepburn. Let's see. John Rupus, Sean Eastep. Let's see. Sean Carter, Grim. Let's see. Wendy and Jimmy. Cardinal Sin. All right, Gil, thank you so much, buddy. Mighty Orbots. Victor Fontaine. Lieutenant Crittenden. Linrod. Admiral Teague. The Thing. Dalek 451. Bruce Lombardo of Dix Division. Michael Beacom. Cassandra Beacom. Thank you so much. Parker Luck. Thank you. And Brandon the Anime Guy, my old friend. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. It is just wonderful to see you all. Please have a fantastic remainder of your weekend. And clobber on and trek on with your bad selves. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
It's clobbering time!
Clobberonimo! I just love clobbering time.